Alright. Before anyone else gets here, this is gonna be an expose, if you will, a nice little thing from me. BOOM! Up to the roster! Alright, and now with that out of the way, welcome back! This isn't even the right, team in the background, but Ben didn't update his roster tool, so I guess I gotta wait for his roster. Welcome back to the first actually going to be streamed live game of Scrims on? Yeah. What? Why? Wait, I just realized Dean! Dean, it's not updated either! Neither are you updating your... 你有冇搞錯㗎？呢度兩個嘅人㗎？嗱，我啱正式嘅禮物，哇！靠你能，教你能業嚟好啊？你有冇搞錯㗎？ Alright. That aside, though. So, how's everyone doing? How's everyone's day been? I'm sure everyone's been having a great time. I had a very nice day yesterday. You know, played League of Legends, as one does. I actually played a lot of Minecraft as well. I also played Scrims, and I'm not going to spoil the results of that game yet, but... There. I figured I might as well get the stream in early. Just to let everyone know that, yeah! We're going to be, actually streaming on live games now, hopefully. I heard the Spectre bug is down. There are two ways this can go, actually. Either I stream the, games that I got from Ben, or I'm going to be able to stream, the live game. So either way, I win. They don't. I win. Also, hello Stanley. I finally see you in chat. My stream setup is scuffed. I used my phone for chat. But while this happens, I'll just... It's Dean's team, right? Yeah. While I'm on the topic of getting tilted, if we are how many games into the season and it still shows me and Brewer on Spectres when I open out the roster tool? Forehead? So, someone gotta fix that. But, while that happens, I mean, I have no idea what Dean's roster is, but I'll just plug in his main roster. I'll just let players do its thing here. Let's see if this works. Please. Onegaishimasu! It did not. I'm going to harvest the kidney. I'm going to harvest? Actually, I don't really want to harvest kidney. You ever get the thing where it's like it's too easy to harvest a kidney? Like, why would you? Let's see if it's gonna work this time, and then once I'm done with this, we can start talking about like rosters and matchups, and we can start building a narrative, because there is a narrative I have in mind. I did a little research of these teams before like I got on. Nothing's in, by the way, in terms of like what I want. Oh, the swap to player assets button is completely dick fucked. Okay. The website's a little borked, but I think I might actually be fighting Dean over being able to update the asset creator, and that might be what's happening. Which, yep, checks out. You know. Yeah, okay. That's what was happening. I got it now. I got it. Obviously, we are 10 minutes away from when this stream should start, but I was really excited to stream a live game, so got on a bit early. And I gotta let all the people gather while I just force them to listen to me. I'm sure that nothing wrong could possibly happen there. Where is Stream Assets? Stream Assets. Scrims Folder Hub. Here it is. Open a new window. Pin to quick access. I have to redo. This is you're seeing like you're hearing just what I do every time I want to like start streaming, which is I have to go through quite literally everything and make it work the way I want it to. I didn't see who got what side, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I got about 20 minutes until we get there. In the meanwhile, what's my next talking point? Right, Spectres versus Rift Sharks. Two teams, I'd argue, on the same side of the bracket, though like one of the teams doesn't have two of their games in. That'll be rectified. shortly. This is the start of the second round robin, in theory. So we're going to get to see some repeat matchups starting next week. Alright, that should work now. I can redo the slideshow. Hey, there we go! Fuck you, Dean. I had to redo the entirety of your OBS setup. I don't actually hate it though. I'm sure it works on a PC that has 2 monitors. My PC was just like too weak to actually be able to do that. Also, why are there only 3 images in the slideshow? That's all that way. Yeah. MVP standing schedules. Oh. What's this one? Oh, okay. It's just loading all the images. Right. Nice. Comfy Honayan screams at everyone while I figure all this out. Schedule, standings, and MVP standings going here first. Replace, then pause in game order. Replace. I'll have to redo that actually. I kind of regret that. If anyone, right, while Dean is no longer like in Twitch chat, if anyone wants to like bribe me to put like a little icon of like whatever they want in like the sponsors tab, I'll just like quickly go to like the draft. No, not draft. In-game thing. Is it sponsors? Here it is. So you have like the normal ones, Mundo Care, you know, Vet Ranch, you know, we want you to bleed for Noxus. And then I wonder if it doesn't show because it is. Nope, okay, should show us soon. Knife from Heaven, Kane Gaming, that's a good one. Mason Jars, we love that. Oh? Oh, I think it might actually not be pulling the right folder. Oh. Oh. That's weird. Let me do some diagnosing here. They should all be PNG files, yeah? Oh. Maybe I need to just manually. An Explorer subsolution, right? There we go. Wait, what folder is it pulling from? It's not from the standard one. Oh, that's weird. Either way, now I'm under good authority. There we go! Ichiban Confections is one of our sponsors. I got that working now finally. So if you want to bribe me for sponsors, you're perfectly able to do so. I won't tell Dean. In fact, I'm pretty sure Dean's not gonna notice. Anyone here from Canada? Get yourself like Ice Captain Tim's. Smile. Oh, it's Will's birthday! Will! 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 Happy birthday, Will! Have a very wonderful Viego fanfic in your DMs. The one from Rat 47. Also, Joey! Happy birthday as well! Please stop killing me. That'd be great. I would enjoy being actually able to play the game as an ADC player. You make that very difficult to do. Please stop that. Me and Will would appreciate you not diving us and killing us at 20 minutes in the game. Every day. Oh. Turkey. Yeah, it's so warm. And why El Nino? I like it when it's cold. It is currently not cold. It is very warm. Now let's see if stream is working. Should be right before anyone else gets here. While I get this sorted out, depending on if it needs sorting out, which seems like that might not be the case. No idea. We can talk about, I guess. Well, first we can talk about my lack of co-streamers that I expected to show up for a lot. Oh wait! The captain's finally got back in! Red, I sent it in draftings.
Here.
Hello? Do I have a co-streamer? I do!
Yes. All the whole streamers.
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure that they can actually hear you. Arnie, speak.
Hello.
Everyone, this do be the Arnie.
Yes.
Fellow top laner on Andromeda. What do you think the game's gonna be like today, Arnie?
I really think Spectres have something to prove here. I really think that this team, despite their record, is still really strong. That every individual player in Spectres will have their certain strengths and weaknesses, but I really think that they're gonna be able to perform here against Rift Sharks.
I concur.
You concur? Alright.
I do think Rift Sharks is a strong team as well. They've been looking really good. I'm excited to see how they look today. Looks like if this is the correct roster, then it's interesting that they don't have Mason or Hadiri, so they're running Joel in the jungle. I don't know if I've actually seen Joel play jungle before, so that's going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, let's put it this way. I don't like it when he plays jungle. My feet hurt.
Interesting.
He plays like a lot of the same champions that Mason does. So even though he's not the one and only Mason, he still does this very much the same things.
Yeah, I will say I do think it's going to be interesting seeing how Spectres performs with this lineup. Bean has played a lot of roles. He definitely jungles pretty well, so I like that. I've also seen Cam top a few times. He looks good top, but I know he can also jungle and Bean can top, so there's potential for maybe some switching around. Having Captain Coffee in is exciting. I think he's performed well. I mean, you see right there, really good KD, 2 wins on Senna. Wouldn't be surprised to see that come out.
I just put these rosters in because these are the ones that I'm expecting. But yeah, if Coffee's playing, Senna, Soraka bot lane.
Is this from the roster tool?
Yeah, this is from the roster tool, except Spectre side. Spectre side's been ruined for years. Yeah, wait, in the roster tool, you and me are still on Spectres. I'm the support and you're the mid laner. Yeah. And then I'm supporting Ben.
What do you think, Arnie, about just looking at the champions to watch? I think Drago on the Aatrox is pretty interesting, 5-0.
I think Drago has always been like the kind of person who pulls his own weight top side whenever he's strong side or weak side. I think he's definitely one of the best top laners in the server with his specific champions like the Aatrox, the Camille, especially the Riven. I think Cam has as I said previously, I think these players have a lot to prove. They're really hungry to get their first win. So
yeah.
Yeah, to me, Aatrox isn't really a champion I was associating with Drago too. That kind of surprises me. I
Yeah.
know he gets a lot of shout out for his Yone, his Camille.
He was a
I mean,
bit
we
of
know
a
he can play just about every carry top, so I'm not too
Yeah.
surprised.
yeah,
I've
he's a
seen
bit
the
of
Aatrox
a
myself.
carry top laner.
Also, I will say that they noted that it is actually Mason playing jungle, so
Oh,
Oh,
it's
that
Mason.
definitely
interesting.
brings a different dynamic. I do think it's probably most people would agree that he's probably the strongest player on the Rift Sharks roster, so having him in is pretty big for them. I'm excited to see him play.
Guess who needs to redo the roster tool? Is it actually
It's
Mason
a
in?
very,
Oh my god.
That's what
it's a
Mason said,
very,
yes.
very scary top sign for Rift Sharks. As Spirit mentioned, Mason definitely he is the apex in the jungle role,
Alright.
in my personal opinion. Really, really good on those picks like the Hecarim,
Okay,
Udyr.
there we
Yeah,
go.
New
He's
Deer.
just a very, very high, very, very plays a lot of jungle, they're very high tempo, and really excited to see what he's able to do against being in Cam.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they are going to bring to the table. Obviously, I think Rift Sharks is, with like Mason in, is a little favored, but we're just gonna have to see. I think Mason's a disgustingly high point player for all the right reasons.
I mean, yeah, let's be honest. Spectre's still looking for their first win. I think it'd be hard not to call them the underdog. I definitely think they have what it takes to win. They've been really close. I think they've had some unlucky games.
Mhm.
I think Sarverse has actually been performing really well in the mid lane. It just hasn't been able to convert yet.
Let's put it this way: I'm
Him
happy he's
against
bought.
Thomas. Well, I'm just saying him against Thomas. I think might be the key matchup. Um, I've seen Thomas perform really well in the past, but I actually think Sarverse is one of the strongest mids on the server, so I'm excited to see how he does.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with that.
Don't worry, I have other slides, but unfortunately, due to roster tool not actually being what it should be, I only have like the key player slides going. But yeah.
Just pretend that Cam is Mason in this situation.
Cam is the key player. I could agree with that probably. I think Cam has looked really good in some of their wins. Um,
I just think
he's
he's
always
going
been a
to
strong
need to
player
get
in
a
the
lot
server.
going, because they're
Yeah, I
going
think
to
it's a
need
tough
more
ask
proactive.
against Drago.
It's a very tough
It's a
ask.
tough ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I first against Cam, sorry for my reviews, like I say, I thought we were looking at Joel for a second, but yeah, I think Cam is. Yeah, I made a little bit of a whoopsie there, but yeah, I think this top match is going to be very, very exciting. Cam versus Drago. I think they're two based on what I've seen from both players, I feel like they're very they have a very their champ pools are very
Similar.
more skewed towards the carry side. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very similar champ pools, more like lots of carry champ. We've seen Cam on the Darius, he's looked really good on that. We've seen Drago on packs like the Camille. Revan, he's looked really good on that previously. So it's gonna be it's really exciting to see if, the volatility of the
Yeah.
volatility of what's going to happen top side.
Yeah.
And overall, to me, I think if you're looking at like every position,
Mhm.
I think mid definitely favors Spectres a little bit. I think jungle definitely favors Rift Sharks. I think top is probably it's pretty even, and then I really think bot lane might be the most important lane. Just seeing that, I think Kathy has been playing really well this season in both roles. I think Captain Coffee plays well when he comes in, but then I think a lot of Rift Shark's success often hinges on how Dean does. He's down there with Jacob. We've seen Dean play both roles, but he's on ADC this series with Jacob as support. And I honestly feel like bot lane's pretty even skill level between all four players. So I'm kind of excited to see where that goes because I think that could end up being the deciding lane.
I haven't seen a lot of the more recent Rift Sharks games. I'm hoping to see something that isn't double enchanter bot lane. I feel like Dean and Jacob would still try to pull that out.
I don't think you're picking. I don't think that's really
Yeah,
Jacob's
the
style. I
lot.
mean,
Jacob's
I
style
think
is
some,
usually Nami, just
yeah,
champion Nami.
because Leona's looked good.
ever since the changes with the support items, I don't think it's going to be very likely we're going to see the double enchanter bot lane again, unless
Oh.
they are willing to unless they are still willing to pull it out anyway. In which I do think it's weaker now, but if that's a style that they want to commit on, then I could definitely see them doing
mean,
the double
they could
enchanter,
try, but in my opinion, I think that's just doing themselves a disservice. I think Dean is one of the
Yeah.
better ADCs in the server. He's put up a really strong performance on really mechanical ADCs such as Callista or Nyla or other champs in the past. So I always want to see him on one of those kind of picks. I mean, I'd like to see them play for lane. I'd like to see Jacob get on an aggressive support, Dean to get on an aggressive ADC, and try to go at it. Because I think Kathy's going to play an enchanter, most likely. And then if Captain Coffee's on a scaling champion and they're able to scale, then I think they could find a really huge advantage there. I think if you're scrapping back and forth early game, I'd probably favor the Rift Sharks bot lane a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see the Leona come out for Jacob and the Callista come out for Dean. I think that Dean's very good in Callista, and having Jacob empower the engage ability of a Callista with Leona would be very
As we
nice.
get as we're 1 minute away from draft, are there any like popular power picks we're kind of interested to see what happens? I know right now Zach is like a really contested flex pick. I'd be curious to see if either team prios that.
I'm wondering to see if we're gonna see any ADTF this game.
TF, of course, yep. I also
TF.
think that Rift Sharks has prioed Karma in the past. I don't know if she's quite as strong as she was a couple weeks ago, but that's a flex pick. Twisted Fate's a flex pick. I would not be surprised at all if Dean pulled that out. I know Thomas could play that probably. Thomas had liked the Akshan a lot in the past, and I feel like picking Twisted Fate AD mid is pretty similar. Yeah, a lot of
Definitely.
flex picks. Be interesting to see what they go for that first pick slot.
Having Bean
Definitely,
in
we're
the jungle,
saying-
I would not be surprised to see a Warwick come out as well.
Yeah, Bean's Warwick is actually really scary. You don't see Warwick getting played a ton lately, but I've seen Bean perform really well in that pick pretty consistently. Against Mason, I think that might be a hard ask, especially if he blind picks it, because Mason has such a deep champion pool, he'd end up with a good matchup.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to me to see, does Spectres try to hold Bean's pick and see if they can get the counter pick jungle, or are they willing to just accept that it's going to be hard either way and just take a power pick early?
We'll definitely have to see with the bans that are happening right now. So with the Rift Sharks, we've got Silas ban and Zagreus. Not really that surprised. I think
Oh my
Udyr ban for Spectres. I'm not even
Yeah.
least surprised.
These are
Quick
blisteringly
Quick
fast.
bans. They knew, hey, we love when they aren't wasting time.
The Zac comes out,
Okay.
there you go. After the
the Zac
Darius ban,
ban.
which is a little odd.
Well, I think Spectres did a good job getting rid of both of those strong flex picks we talked about, and you just respect the Udyr. Rift Sharks bans are a little interesting to me. I definitely understand the Soraka. The other two definitely kind of must be intending picks that those would be
does
bad
play
for.
a lot of Darius, so I do see the angle for that.
Yeah, they were made with Darius being such a good pick at the Zac. Maybe Spectres were thinking, or maybe they're gonna look for the Zac angle.
Yeah.
So I can see.
Wukong, I like. I think Wukong's really strong. I think Mason's played a really good Wukong. Definitely, if you're going for team fight, it's a good pick. I don't think it's like so OP that it's like an obvious first pick, but if you're comfortable on it and you're confident, I think it's worth it. We're seeing the Seraphine answer. Probably going to be double enchanter for Spectres, which I don't hate. You can play more for your solo laners to carry in that situation.
Oh, Maokai.
Ooh.
And probably the Maokai jungle for Bean, which
Yeah.
I think is pretty interesting.
I think the Varus response is very smart here. Seraphine cannot bully a Varus as heavily as she can some other ADCs, so...
Yeah,
Varus-
Dean's Varus has looked really good in the past.
Yeah, Varus, very good, very just good blind pick in general. Varus being very strong right now, having so many flexible build paths. You can either go the volley build, go crit
Yeah.
on hit.
Oh,
Yeah, if
there's
you
another
go a
one.
low damage team comp, Varus can actually build kind of tanky to the point where if you don't have a ton of threats on the Spectre side, that Varus can end up being really difficult to kill. And then Jacob's Nami, I mean that's his pick, man. We're not
It's
surprised to
Nami.
see that coming out.
It's, yeah.
Kind of tougher for Jacob.
I'm not really high on Nami lately, but I think if that's your comfort pick, there's no reason not to take
Wow,
it.
Noam is so biased, by the way. Let's go Spectres immediately after he types that in. And Jacob, but not the rest of Rift Sharks.
Oh, the Amumu's interesting.
Ooh.
That's actually,
Ooh.
I don't think
What's
you'd
that?
be putting Amumu bot lane with Seraphine. Maybe you are, but I don't think you would be. So then at that point, is that a Maokai top lane already? Or Maokai support maybe? I feel like you probably have to have a Mumu jungle, in my opinion.
Maokai top doesn't seem like a cam champion to
It
me.
could be
so
a
we'll
Mumu
have
top.
to
Also, they
We'll have to
banned
see.
Yone Ribbon against Drago.
Yep.
we'll have to see what Spectre's next pick here. So
Top
next
lane being
pick's here.
targeted and mid lane being targeted.
Oh boy.
I want to see them give last pick here to Ben, honestly. I think it's valuable, but he might blind here to kind of keep this flex going.
Yeah, there's still a lot of picks open for our Cerberus. Tristana's open. The Tristana's open. We saw that in the Champs to Watch. Cerberus being really good at the Tristana.
Yeah, if you were gonna blind pick, yeah, that's a good call. And if you were gonna blind pick, which he does, good shit, Arne. Yeah, that's such a great blind pick right here. It fits super well with the team comp. You already have magic damage. You're still getting an 80 carry, and I don't really think Tristana has that many bad matchups mid. You saw yesterday in our series that Tuccini counterpicked with Cassiopeia, which so there are counterpicks, but if Tristana just farms and goes late game, you're a scaling ADC, so it's kind of redundant.
Are they just gonna pick the Aatrox for Jago?
Is that the 5-0 Aatrox?
That's the 5-0
Okay,
Aatrox.
let's see it. That's
is.
awesome.
So they're probably not sending the Amumu or the Maokai top.
Arne, what are your... Yeah, Arne, you play some Aatrox. What would you want to see Cam kind of last pick here, assuming that they haven't already picked top?
In terms of in the context of what Spectres have drafted, I really feel like they do need more of a more of a AD threat in the top side with how much magic damage you have with Maokai, Mumu, everything. So for Cam, I'm looking for something like maybe like just a high like a bruiser AD top laner that's able to have a good matchup to Aatrox.
What? That's
So,
a Quinn.
Like the Jax or something? Or ooh.
Something like a Jax or Fiora. But if the Quinn comes out, then it definitely stylistically it makes their drop very very
What?
different. And it's okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Cam. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's already played Smolder top once this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's Smolder top. It could be Tristana top, but I think Ben's probably on the Tristana mid.
This is the most flexible roster I've seen
Very
in my life.
interesting.
I honestly think I don't really love the Aurelion Sol answer into Tristana, assuming that's going to be the mid lane matchup. I think Tristana bullies him out so hard early, and if Aurelion Sol ever just stands and puts his Q on, Tristana kind of gets to free jump on his head. So I definitely want to see Cerberus get a lead in that matchup. And I think if it goes to team fights, Seraphine ult, Amumu ult, Malachi ult, and Smolder ult all getting thrown on top of each other, that's pretty scary because you don't really have someone that can tank that on the other side. Yeah, Wukong and Aatrox can get tanky, but not enough to survive all that.
Yeah, the Smolder pick definitely makes the Spectre's top side a lot more volatile. If I was in Cam's shoes, I would have probably this is my personal opinion, but having less volatility top lane makes it so that if your lane is ever losing, then like you always have like a plan to fall back on. Like if, for example, if your champ is really good at playing from behind, but with a pick like Smolder, it's like it's either feast or famine with Smolder. He's either going to be really strong or really weak. At least in the early to mid game, before Smolder is able to stack his passives and get that auto dragon buff. So
yeah, I really think we got to see Spectres. Their game plan needs to be just farm it out, get the team fights, fight as a unit. Rift Sharks definitely going to have some pressure to get a little bit of a lead. You obviously have the Aurelion Sol scaling in your back pocket, but I don't know if that's going to be enough if the team fights are even. Like if it's an even gold state when we get to 5v5, I would definitely favor Spectre's team composition. But I also think that Jar has consistently been able to path well, get lanes advantages, and when you're playing stuff like Smolder top or like Seraphine bot, it's definitely gankable.
It is Smolder top. I'm receiving confirmation of that right now.
Can't fool us.
Oh man.
Well, one thing I want to shout out then is so that will most likely be a Mumu support. I mean, it could be Malachi support. Both of those are strong, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But if it is either,
what if it's a Mumu mid?
I mean, I don't think you'd want to take Cerberus off Tristana. I think you want your best player on the best carry in the game, and that's the Tristana right now. I think Tristana has like the X factor in this game to just take over, unlike any of the other champions in that side can.
I'd say let me cook, but the cooking has already been a little spoiled here. I gotta figure out what the cooking is.
I can't see the movement there being the angle for Cerberus. Like as Guru said, that's Tristana.
So it is actually being Malachi support.
Yeah, Malachi support, Seraphine ADC for Spectres.
Yeah. I'm excited to see this because at least for me, every time I've seen Kathy play support, it's been on the Enchanters, and she's performed really well on them. But Maokai's a completely different look, so I'm really excited to see how she does on that.
I think the combo is actually really strong, Seraphine and Maokai. Seraphine loves champions that can lock a champion in one place, rather than displacing them and moving them around, because she can get both procs of her Q off and do the execution damage.
Yeah. I'm also kind of curious to see if this is Kathy on an engage support or if Kathy is just on the Seraphine. We don't usually see Kathy on the engage support supports a lot.
Yeah.
Usually really well known for the enchanters. So
I guess it could be, but I would assume Captain Coffee's on the Seraphine. I don't know if I've seen him play support, but
I did.
The Spectres is shown to be a flexible team.
I was let in on some backroom dealings that they might be putting Coffee on the Maokai to see if he can't get better roam opportunities off. Which, with an Amumu, that checks out. You know, sending Maokai up top lane and then getting Tristana and Smolder to roam in on grubs every time it's up. You have Amumu lockdown, you have Maokai displacement. At least in theory, it sounds pretty good.
Seems like with that said, it seems like based on the lane assignments, we have Smolder top lane, Mumu in the jungle, Tristana mid, Seraphine Maokai bot.
And then on the Rorschach side.
Rorschach side is pretty standard. I mean, we were talking about in draft how just straightforward how straightforward the draft was. Like, you're obviously going to see the Aatrox, the Aatrox top, the Aurelion Summit, Boris Nami, bot lane, and the Wukong in this jungle role.
I think they have a very good split. English is hard, by the way. A very good setup here. I think that they have a really solid win condition late game, and the rest of their champions are trying to get the Aurelion Sol to the point where he has 500 Stardust and wins the game. They also
it's gonna be really.
Yeah. No, go on.
It's gonna, as Guru said before, it's gonna be really, really hard for the Aurelion Sol to play at least the early game, especially if the Amumu particularly targets the mid lane. So if that Aurelion Sol gets stunted early game, it's very hard for him to recover. If you don't give him the resources and defenses. So I'm interested to see how Mason will play around this, to see if he plays around mid early, plays for the counter gank, or if he just tries to play for the other lanes, have Thomas just duke it out with the Tristana and being the just essentially the weak side. I know that's a term that's mostly used to top lane, but just him essentially being just on his own, trying his best to not die against the Tristana, playing so as not to get ganked against the Amumu, and watching that.
One thing that's just kind of the nature of Tristana lanes is that she typically gets the push and will play a lot of the lane right outside of the enemy's turret. So if they're not warding well, or if Amumu isn't covering at the right times, then there could be angles for Mason to kind of get creative and sneak up on Ben if he's playing too aggressive. But I think if the Maokai and the Amumu can kind of help cover Ben, like we've seen in a lot of Andromeda games where Dr. Dad or whichever jungler we have is covering mid, then I think it becomes really impossible for them to do anything about Tristana early.
Gentlemen, I have exciting news.
What is the news?
The client just booted up.
Okay.
Let's go. We're back. We're streaming.
We're streaming the first ever second part of the season, second half of the season of Scrims Zone.
So it is Kathy on the Seraphine, as we discussed. So I'm excited to see Riot Gladewin playing see him playing the Maokai. That's going to be cool. I do want to say Smolder taking Ignite's pretty crazy to me. I wouldn't think you have kill threat on Aatrox even with Ignite, but I don't know. And he's also not going for the Comet, to poke and farm. So maybe he thinks with press the attack and Ignite, he can get aggressive early. I'm kind of excited to see how that lane goes.
Yeah, it definitely adds a lot more volatility, even more volatility on top of that. If this Smolder, he's very, very vulnerable if the Wukong ever goes top lane. So if he dies there without TP, and if he's on a stacked wave, then the Smolder's game is just going to be so hard if he just mixes it up, misses any doesn't take the opportunity to use the Ignite well, and how much creel pressure he has.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, runes are pretty standard. I do like seeing Exhaust on Kathy here. I know a lot of Seraphines will take Teleport, but she doesn't feel like she needs that. And Exhaust in these late game team fights against a flanking Wukong or a flanking Aatrox could straight up win the game if you put that Exhaust down before they do all their damage.
I definitely agree. There's so many, especially with the Wukong, if he's going to go in and output his damage, like the exhaust is going to be very, very useful in these situations. And in terms, yeah, as you said, in terms of the other runes, they're pretty standard. What about as a Tristana connoisseur yourself, Guru? What are your thoughts on Halo Blades? Is that standard for Tristana mid, or would you?
It's standard. I mean, I think you can get away with Halo Blades or Fleet Footwork or Lethal Tempo, really. And I think this game, you don't really need Fleet Footwork because you're kind of in an easy lane. And then I don't know, maybe you could have done Lethal Tempo, but it's not like there's a ton of tanks on the other side that you're going to be getting to stack up on. And I think he's just going for that early aggressive advantage, which Halo Blades provides. And it gives him the ability throughout the game to where if he gets the jump on someone, the burst damage is so insane.
We're going to see pleasantries exchanged in the chat. Very nice to see that these teams have not broken their mentals yet. I expect it to change by next game.
Seems like it's pretty standard pathing for both junglers, both starting bot side, and seems like they're pathing up top. We could potentially see like an early gank from Mason if he wants to go mid lane. Same with the Momo. It all depends on what they want to do.
One stack on the Smolder is already over. One thing we didn't actually mention is probably really easy for Smolder to stack up passive stacks on the Aatrox. Just pressing Q on them and W.
Yeah.
Especially.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, we're going to see Aatrox actually going on the Smolder here. Well, it's going on top lane. They're trading really heavily. Wins out in bad trade.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that I don't know. The Pressy attack's just interesting to me. I've played against the Smolder with the Arcane Comet W spam, and especially because he still went Doran's Ring, I've seen that feel so hard to play against. So I'm not sure about the Pressy attack yet.
It's kind of depending on how you want to play. Essentially, like if you want to go for it depends if you want to go for small trades as Smolder or poke as Smolder. PTA, it's definitely more better if you want to take like short trades. But with the Comet, it's really good if you want to just play further back, play for the poke, and just play more of attrition essentially with the Aatrox.
Oh, nice engage. But big damage back from Dean there.
No.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage back.
If the Varus has one more spell, that is a dead Maokai. Oh, never mind!
Ooh, huge root!
100%.
Big!
Smolder is fighting with the Wukong on the top side. Flash!
Oh, the flash in pretty
Boom, players!
1 for 1?
1 for 1.
Wait, the Varus is...
Oh, and Maokai going for the kill!
Oh, Dean with the double.
Dean with the double kill. It looks like the Maokai was not able to actually pick up the Varus in the end.
And I mean, it is nice you get the first blood, but this is kind of the volatility that we were saying the Spectres kind of needs to avoid. You know, you want to get to that team fight stage as even as you can.
Yeah,
Overall, 2 for 3 is not too bad, but definitely gonna have to monitor how far Dean can push this lead.
Yeah, it was very, very risky for going for that kill as Captain Coffee.
Oh.
Actually, it didn't turn out.
Dean's gonna find
out
the,
well.
This could be a flash.
He's gonna find him twice!
Oh, good pew. Is that a potential kill?
No, Nami's here for the
damn it.
save.
Yeah, nice run by Jacob there.
Maokai's going in.
Maokai.
Oh, Maokai's going out.
Ooh.
Bean's going in!
Ooh.
Gets the flash out over the Ace, at least let's see if we can get the kill.
He's unable to reach him.
No,
That's so unfortunate.
Ace's gonna pick up another one.
Really
Looks
unfortunate.
like Ben's going to try
Oh my
to get a kill. Only gets the flash out of Jacob. Nami lives again.
Absolute chaos going across all sides of the map. We got flashes and we got flashes. We got supports roaming at level 2.
So Portal Romeo level 2 is just average support energy, not gonna lie.
Crazy stuff happening right now in the mid game. I mean, that's weird. We were talking about the volatility of just the game in general, and it looks like they're definitely proving us right with how many plays are happening across the map.
God, it's like 2008 stock market with this much volatility.
Nice one. Yeah, I do think volatility does favor Rift Shark's comp, though, so I would like to see Spectres slow it down a little bit, get to those level 6 power spikes we talked about.
As things calm down on the map a little bit, we're going to see some movement from Rift Sharks to get grubbies. Oh, never mind, we're going to see another engage onto the Nami again, but the fish is slippery, so it's gonna get away. And Cam's actually in a lot of danger here. Aatrox Q3.
This could be a the flat, the Q3. This could be a kill for Smolder if he kites it out. Oh no, it doesn't look like it. Despite the missed Q3.
I mean, missed Q3 and W, and still isn't able to win that. That's tough.
The Darkened Blade 1 and 2 hit on the sweet spots. That's all you really need to kill a squishy target.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Another engage that Tristana's treating extremely heavily into the Aurelion Sol here.
Right, man. This
Who's gonna win? Looks like it's going to
there
be
you
Tristana.
Very good flash. That was a close execute. Oh, and on the other side of the map, we get a play from B. Is it enough DPS to kill the Varus? Yes, it is.
That should be an extra
able to kill the Na'Vi.
That's really big. That's really big. Bean is getting pretty fed on the Mumu. But yeah, that's a huge. That had to happen mid. Got to start getting that advantage with how the bot lane's going, with how top lane's looking. And yeah, it's what we expect when we see Tristana into ASOL. So really good job there by Ben.
Really good job by Bean as well to land both Qs on a stationary target, but then land a third right after to secure the extra kill. Oh my god, it ultimately comes out from the Smolder. What is that damage?
Yeah, DN9 is pretty strong. He tries to kite it out. Oh!
He's able to pick it up. Okay, well, good job getting a kill back. I mean, that's pretty
Noam
big.
is telling me to zoom out. Noam, if you could tell me how to zoom out, that'd be great. Does anyone know how to zoom out? I swear I've done this before.
We got another roam coming from the Malachi.
It should be another kill, I think.
Oh, the ulti from Thomas, though. The stun.
That's a kill.
Oh! Oh, looks like the bomb was able to finish him off. Looks like the
really good job by Ben of holding the R until the last second, got all the damage down, and pushed him away with the last second once that bomb was going to be enough to kill. And really good roam by Captain Coffee. I mean, you called it out, Hone, and you said they want to get him active on the map, and he's been roaming, getting a lot of value.
Yep. Oh, Kathy's going to get hit by the Chains of Corruption.
Oh, this could be a it's a good exhaust from Kathy, though.
But she doesn't live. The Nami is in a lot of trouble, though. Just gotta get picked up.
This Varus could
I do believe Varus will die here.
Dean is in enemy territory. Where are we gonna see Coffee Bramble smashes him towards his own turret. Unfortunately, that also means away from Bean, but I think Bean should be able to pick this up.
Is he able to kill?
Nah,
Bean's able to get the finish. This Mumu is already so strong, 5-1. He's got to have at least like 1,600, 2,000 gold in his bank already.
Yeah, we're setting up for a super explosive mid game here with all the carries getting strong.
Oh,
that's gotta hurt for Cam.
This is one of the disadvantages of playing the Smolder top. If you're able to not, I don't know what your ability is for Smolder, but if you don't have like if you're not able to fly away from the Aatrox W, he's able to get that guaranteed sweet spot Q.
Speaking of, wait, hold on.
He's able to get that good trade.
Malakai's coming top right now.
Malakai's top.
This is kind of hot. This is kind of hot.
Aatrox doesn't have ult yet.
Oh, you're right.
Mother comes down to try to help out.
That comes up, he can turn.
Oh. Looks like he might be turning.
He is able to turn. Oh, the Q!
There it is.
Aatrox could easily 2v1 this, yeah.
Yeah, the flash out from the Malachi just to make sure he lives, but that's not what you want to see from a gank.
Yeah, with no ignite on either player there, not able to kill Aatrox through the healing.
Yeah. Ben roams over top, but all he's gonna get is some minions.
Varus ult's coming up here. I think they have a dive angle on Kathy if that lands.
They do.
Yeah, but Kathy doing a good job at dodging the skill shot. Nice sidestep with the Nami bubble. Good route as well. She's doing a really good job at surviving the poke from Rift Sharks. Dodging every single skill shot thus far in that tower exchange. Really well done from Kathy.
Smolder's getting a lot of stacks onto Aurelion Sol. That's a lot of damage on Aurelion Sol here as well.
Dragon versus Dragon.
This is a
Nami's coming in from the side. We'll see how much that changes.
The Aurelion Sol almost clipping the Smolder, but is unable to get off. You're not going to have that resource during this.
Oh, Bean finds a hook over the wall. Bean finds another hook over the wall. That should just
Mason's in the back line.
Mason's in the back line.
He's able to clean up.
Gets 2, and now we're just gonna see the sad mummy fighting a monkey.
I don't think he wins this.
Oh,
especially if Ben can get over there. Oh, I would have liked to see Bean stay in that and just ult them, especially with Ben being right out of range. But,
yeah. That's a lot of
But, you know, you have a fat shutdown. You don't want to risk giving that away to either the Wukong or the Varus, so I don't blame him for playing that a little safe. Will have ultimate for the next big team fight.
the gold distribution so far, this VAR is looking really, really scary. He's already got that player, the Rune King. Also in the same token, you also have that Mumu who's really, really tanky with the items that he has already. I'm very curious to see what he's building with the
we got a lot of grub movement here.
with the toe
Okay,
and
it looks
the
like 4v4.
Ruby Crystal.
Uh,
It is looking like.
You know, I mean, Wukong doesn't have.
Oh
ultimate.
my
Oh, huge!
Ooh,
That was
and the
a
blind Q from
blind
Bing.
completely,
Really,
didn't
really
even
nice.
see the Wukong was invisible, but he lands the Q regardless. The binding.
Yeah,
Really,
that's
really
huge.
good.
Little unfortunate Malachi grabs the shutdown there, but really big. You're able to convert that into grubs, which is super good for a champion with, or if the team
Wait.
comp with a champion like Tristana.
They're able to deny all 6 grubs from Rift Sharks with that play. That was an incredible
do they have?
bandage toss.
That's gonna be really good for Tristana in the later stages of the game.
Huh?
Speaking of Tristana, oh, potential play happening mid, but Tristana just hops out.
Oh, we got a play happening mid lane
Oh.
actually, as it turns out.
Another play
Gotta be a little
happening
careful here. Ben's so low that
Ooh,
the
the
Ace Soul
aggressive
could do
flash from
something.
Ben. That's a kill, and that's another kill for
Gets the
Cerberus.
reset, pop out.
Very nice pick off on the Nami. You have to invest all your cooldowns as the Tristana.
It's a
But
bit unfortunate. They used a lot for that kill, which only granted 175 gold.
yeah.
Granted, you do have Tristana now is on that Kraken Slayer power spike. This is where she becomes really strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
what? Gavi's getting a kind of frisky with the bot lane. And Dean has no
Oh.
mana.
Let's see if Ars is able to hit the arrow.
Yeah, with
Got
Blade of the
full
Ruin
passes
King,
on her.
no mana is not too much of an issue for him.
No mana. Sword exchange.
Speaking of no mana, Aurelius
This is
always
a
no
kill,
mana
I
has to
think.
flash out.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't think Ace needed a flash there.
No
Yeah,
mana.
I think he did. I think he did there.
I
It's
didn't
yield.
think Tristana would have the burst. Bit of safe than sorry. Bit of safe than sorry for the Ace Soul.
It's ye old meme. The Tyler one. Get this shit off me! I have no mana!
I
Either
think
way,
he just
you'll
picked 2 memes.
Yeah, I
either
did
way,
two memes.
you'll take that if you'll take that if you're Spectres. That's a potential vulnerable target if Rift Sharks are going to contest this draft with the Ace Soul. That's a potential
Yep.
target they can go for.
Ace with no flash contesting this dragon could be really difficult.
So it looks like we've got an exchange on the top side.
Can't win these.
Oh, he
Ooh, double flash is out.
Little too soon.
it's a very early flash from
Oh,
Cat.
Ben's in
And
huge
then the other
trouble
side
here.
of the map.
Oh,
Mason.
the hop gets cancelled by the second dog.
That's not good. Oh no.
If they're
Can
able
they
to
pick
up
these
the bot
up though?
side.
Nice slow.
Slow from the
Flash up
back
by
bars.
Dean, but
Oh,
they're
no.
completely cut off here.
Oh, Spectres all full.
Yeah,
Ace.
that's an ace across the board.
Wow.
And you know, that's tough. I think Spectres actually did a good job in the early game of getting to that team fight position, but you're not able to find the team fight at that dragon. If all 4 are alive and positioning together, I think they win the team fight, but it's just so split. The Tristana gets caught out.
Yeah,
Man,
it
and
seems
now
like there were 2 team fights happening at the same time. It's really unfortunate for Spectres because they had very clear advantages, but they aren't taking them. It's really unfortunate to see right now. But Rift Sharks obviously taking advantage of their mistakes and getting themselves ahead by 3k gold, and also securing the dragon.
yeah, Rift Sharks is looking strong. Not too surprised. We're seeing Drago play really well. We're seeing Dean play really well. Mason's found good ultimates. I don't know, but I can't help but feel a little bit of that the Spectre's mistake. As good as Rift
Yeah.
Sharks is playing, I think that team fight could have been way closer had they gotten a straight up fight.
Yeah, we're seeing the disadvantages of the smaller top. If he's unable to really stay even or be ahead, so hasn't even got an item yet. So he's really struggling up
Yeah.
there in the top lane.
I think at this point, you just have to let Smolder pick up farm and hope that he scales, and just press R in the team fights. You still have a strong Amumu, you still have a strong Tristana.
Oh,
If
we're
they
gonna
can
see
get
a
a
Nami
favorable
ultimate?
fight, I think they can.
We're gonna
still
see a return ultimate from the Seraphine
Yeah.
as well. They dodge and change the
Oh.
corruption. That should be a dead fish.
Cerberus, very crucial role from Cerberus. Is he able to pick up a kill from Forest? Yes, he is. But on the other side of the map, the Asol looking for the dive on the Smolder.
This should be a dead Smolder. I don't think there's any way he
Yeah,
lives.
unless if he's able to try to take the door of the Aatrox.
Looks like he's trying to avoid giving it to Asol, but
He avoided it.
well, Drago says, "That's mine."
I'm the carry
Definitely
here,
good
not
that the
you.
Asol. Definitely good that the Asol is able to get the roam off just like the Tristana. Oh, how did the Herald go off? That was really unfortunate.
The Herald died before it hit.
Yeah. Oh, TP behind from Drago.
TP behind. Is he able to get anything off
This
it?
is the burst, though.
The
Huge!
CC chain from both B and Captain Coffee was massive. The Aatrox immobilized and unable to do anything.
Now that was a pretty big mistake by Drago there. And I mean, you see the power. If Tristana gets to free hit, which should be happening with a Mumu on your team, they can kill anybody really quickly. So good job by Spectres there reacting to that. You get more gold onto Ben. If Ben, he's so close to his second item, if he gets to Navori Quick Blades, I definitely think there's an angle where a good Tristana can totally carry this game with the Amumu setting up with good engages.
Definitely, that is a really big gold swing for Spectres. Tristana getting whoever got that shot down, being able to essentially even the gold out, even though that the gold lead is a bit skewed towards Rift Sharks. It is looking like the.
It's hard to say if that's like a call Drago made or if that's a team call, but trying to just do a little too much right there. You know, you just got the kill top lane, felt like they could maybe collapse, but wasn't able to, and now won't have TP for a while.
Yeah, it was very risky going for that, and unfortunately the risk was unable to play off.
I also am not too sure about the lane assignments right now. I think putting the Aatrox bot instead of continuing to match him with the Smolder might be favoring Spectres if it allows the Smolder to more easily farm.
I definitely agree. The Aatrox being so strong right now, playing against Tristana, it's very much more of an even matchup in the side lane of how ahead Tristana is.
Yeah, I don't think Tristana cares which one she's versing here. And he does now have the second item. Ben is super, super strong. What we have to see at this dragon in a minute, Spectres just has to get a good team fight. We can't see him get caught out before. We need to see all 4 or all 5 players coordinated and using their ultimates on the same targets.
Also going to see the Blade of Ruin King Quincy's combo out for Dean, so that is a guaranteed on-hit Varus.
Yep. Dean is very strong at this fight as well. Asol's strong at this fight. We're going to have all ultimates up. All summoners look like they're going to be up. All flashes at least. This fight could end up being pretty huge in deciding this game if either team's able to just blow it open.
It definitely seems like this is going to be the one that decides the game.
Yeah, exactly. You have all sums up as well for both teams.
Asol's top right now. They might be able to get a catch onto Drago.
Yeah.
Oh, perhaps. Drago is kind of caught out. Oh, the ult on the up.
This is not ultimate. I'm not sure if that was the call, but it looks like it is.
Oh, the flashback from Drago, unable to get anything. Drago died. Oh, but the Wukong!
The Wukong can't find the Tristana, she's out. But they're able to find the Smolder.
He is going to have to TD back. If they can stall for Star versus TP, but...
No, that's wipe. The Var's just getting a lot of value off the auto attacks in that fight. It looks like Bean's going to be the next to fall, chased down by 3 members of the Rift Sharks.
I mean, once again right there, just... You go for the pick onto Aatrox, but Tristana loses so much health in the process that you're not able to get just a good front to back.
Yeah, those plays those plays are like they just have the volatility to just go so wrong, and it just goes really, really wrong for Spectres. Tristana getting that low, the team side just becomes a cakewalk for Sharks.
Smolder has no damage right now, so if Tristana is not able to like constantly hit in these fights, there's just not much damage in that team composition.
Bean's a man after my own heart. Leandri's on the Amumu.
You know, I like that. I like Bean's build. I think he's having a really good game, but Amumu alone isn't able to swing these team fights if there's not secondary damage coming through.
Yeah, Smaller is just really, really behind that now. I'm not even sure.
They're gonna find a pick, potentially? Yeah, no, that's been going down. It's not worth for just the Aatrox. If they can get the kill on Drago here again, it might be worth it.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Here, this isn't bad.
Yeah, Mason's here. Smolder. Gonna get picked up by Drago, yeah.
Mom doesn't even get to come down. Looks like
If they're able to chase this down, this could be a potential Baron for Ripshox.
Yep. Looks like they're walking towards it. Caffey's the only one left standing.
Yeah, this is a Baron angle for Ripshox, who should be completely free. It's very unfortunate just seeing the lack of coordination with Spectres. Spectres going for that play on the Aatrox and going for another play on the other side of the river. This doesn't seem like they're playing with what their team composition is really strong at, which is the 5-5 team fights. At the same time, like, it's very, very hard to do that when you're smaller is this far behind.
Yeah, it is. I mean, credit to Rift Sharks, they're playing a really clean game. For the most part, they've thrown a couple deaths back, but they're doing a really good job of being coordinated with where they're moving around the map. You're not really able to just find one. Yeah, you found Thomas there, but Dean is right there to pick you back up. You're doing a good job of moving in unison and covering for each other.
Yeah, definitely great. I do see that Spectres. I do see the win angles potentially for Spectres. This slowly, the rope around Spectres' fur is getting tighter and tighter with especially with the amount of dragons are being stacked up.
Yeah, I mean, I think both team comps are pretty happy going later in the game, and I think at this point with this gold disadvantage, that's Spectre's only hope. You gotta hope that somehow Smolder gets to the point of scaling that he becomes a secondary threat.
Oh, Smolder pushed up very, very far above the usual safety. What a play out there. Just nice. Smolder's he's just getting caught out way too much. He's not able to get that farm up, and his CS is just very, very low.
Yeah, I got nothing nice to say about the Smolder pick.
Yeah, not right now, at least.
Can we potentially get a stack check for the Smolder? Because I'm curious to know how close he is. Oh,
God,
maybe that could wait. Play from Cafe.
Oh, I mean, that's a nice ultimate, but it's just the other 3 team members are top right now, so there's no follow-up.
They're all. It doesn't look like they're really on the same page. Captain Coffee trying to go in, and Cafe just getting caught out. It doesn't look like. It almost looks like Spectres are just lost in what to do.
Yeah, I'm curious if they even really have a clear voice. I mean, at this point, it seems like they're pretty uncoordinated. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like they're on the same page, and part of that might be just with where the game state's at. It feels pretty hard to play at this point, but even when you're this far behind, I think you still have an angle if everyone's going in. We haven't seen an Amumu ult setting up a really big Seraphine ult. Like, if we can see that combo, I think there's still a chance, even down a huge amount of gold.
167 stacks on the Smolder, if you were wondering. 160 now.
That's like
nowhere near what he needs to be at this point in the game.
Yeah, he's only like some micro best plays from both teams. The ult from both Drago and Captain Coffee just completely whiffed, but it doesn't even matter because you're getting so much on the side lanes. Asol was able to get the tier 2 tower, and Mason's just punishing that.
Let's see what's coming. Stacks the Aurelion Soul is at. I have a feeling might be a little higher. 262 stacks to Stardust. That's gonna hurt. He's
also got an empowered ultimate. This is soul point for Rift Sharks, and if you're in the shoes of Spectres, do you save yourself? Do you wanna play for the auto fight, or do you have to contest this soul? Point?
I think it's pretty impossible either way, but I think you have to try to send it here. I don't think you're winning if they get Infernal Soul.
Yeah.
Things are getting kind of desperate.
I feel like they have to send it now. Drago is just getting so much on the side lane. They're just stalling for no reason. They're able to get. Yeah. It just.
Did we lose the game?
No.
We're back.
This is the problem with stream with just one monitor.
Looks like they're able to eventually get the pick on Drago, but.
This could be big if you can pick up a shutdown here, but Thomas is on the way with the ultimate.
The ultimate comes out. Able to catch Tristana.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, they're all just collapsing on the Tristana.
Yeah, Tristana's cut off all alone trying to kill the Aatrox. They get that picked up, but you lost your key member here, Spectres.
That's good. Cool.
Uh,
The Aatrox does fall, however, you lose 2 on the side of Spectres. There, Ripshock should be able to get, might be able to get mid tower because of this.
Looks like Rift Sharks is
Yeah.
going to push it down mid with all the minions.
Yeah, with the grubbies, they have so much objective damage. They
Oh
even go
my
over
god, the
inhibitor.
damage! Oh, it hits a minion!
Bingo in there.
The bandage toss hits a minion!
Being forced to flash out and use his R. It's just looking very, very hopeless on the side of Spectres. They're Ripshock's just squeezing them into their base, getting so many towers and so many inhibs. Looks like Ripshock's are trying to make a play, trying desperately to defend their top tower.
Spectres are going to start falling down here, by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like they're just way too far ahead.
Bean's gonna be picked off all alone on the side.
Yeah, Bean trying his best to make a play.
Nice
He's
hit
gonna
Nami.
eventually fall as well.
He's been hitting so many of these bandage tosses, man. If this was a ranked game,
Yeah.
what things would he be saying in all chat?
yeah, I mean, I think Bean had a pretty nice game on the Amumu, all things considered. He was everywhere in the early game and hitting a lot of bandages, but we never got to see that team fight. It just felt really uncoordinated inside of Spectres.
Yeah, especially with the Smolder getting as
Dear
as he is.
Lord.
In the lane, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're talking about looking ahead to game 2, please put Cam on a real champion.
Yeah.
Wait, Twitch chat has been on fire trying to yelling at me to tell Cam to get on a actual
I mean,
carry.
I didn't think there'd ever be a day I'm like asking for Quinn to get locked in, but please lock that in over the Smolder.
I thought Quinn would
I'd
have
really
been-
like to just see the Jax
Yeah.
or something though. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah. If you're unable to make the Smolder work, you have to like change it up a bit. Like maybe like if you're going to try to play like a volatile, high risk carry, like going maybe potentially into the Quinn would be a good idea. But maybe if you want to just completely scrap the idea of volatility, maybe Cam just wants to go for one of the more standard bruiser matchups top lane. Maybe like a Jax or something, but
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I really liked Spectre's draft, and I really liked their game plan. I think if they played a little more coordinated, they still had a chance even in this game. But I think if Cam's not so far behind, that they'd really have a chance if the draft ended up similar.
Alright.
But at the end of the day, I think just credit to Rift Sharks played a really good game. I also think there's too much volatility. There's no world where Dean should be getting 2 kills on Varus in that lane phase early game. Like, Nami Varus doesn't have that unless you're giving it to him to get that kind of an advantage. And I think it's just got to scale a little more, got to find better fights, got to be more coordinated, and I think they still have a chance. So, game 2, be exciting.
yeah, on the side of Rift Sharks, I don't really like if you're playing that cleanly on like the Aatrox and Wukong, you have like really good team fighting on the side of Rift Sharks. I don't really think you need to change that much from what happened game 1 with how successful it went. We could potentially see a different angle on the side of Rift Sharks, but in my opinion, like
I'll say with last season, you know, Rift Sharks was notorious for the game 2 drafts, getting a little fun with it. Kind of they had a lot of 3-game series where game 2 they'd have a little too much fun. Haven't even got to watch their games this season with how the stream's been going, but curious to see if that's carried over to this season. Maybe we can get a little game 2 Rift Sharks to balance it out, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you really changed much for either team as far as pick ban goes outside of just drafting a little more standard of a team.
Pick Jack's top instead of the Smolder, please. That's all I want.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked Captain Coffee on the Maokai as well. I thought he played a really good game. I thought he had good roams early. I thought he was doing a lot with the engage coming out of support. I don't know. I really don't think anybody on Spectres played that bad individually. Maybe top lane, but there was just no coordination. I think that's really just what it boils down to.
Spectres definitely need to focus up. I still think they have. I can only hope for Spectres that they don't get too discouraged from that loss because they are still at their core a really strong team if they play to their strengths. So,
yeah, I don't get how the Spectres team hasn't won a series yet. If I'm just being honest, I think they have really strong players like in every position. I don't think there's like a weakness there that's just holding them back. I don't know if I haven't been able to watch all their other games with the stream, but if it looks similar, we just got to see better coordination, and it might be somebody has to kind of step up and be that shot calling voice. I'm not sure if they have that right now.
Looks like they are getting right back in the draft with the exact same draft as last time.
Salty run back, baby.
Doesn't look like there's any change plans for the side of Spectres or Rift Sharks.
The
I think
Varus.
there's a change yet.
There's been change. Okay. The Varus has been banned.
Varus, I think that's a pretty good adaptation. Varus, especially on blue side, is very, very strong. He's just one of, if not the strongest ADC on this patch. So taking away from D, I think is pretty understandable. Especially as Spectres, if you're going to play more of a scaling bot lane.
I will say after this draft ends, we do need to discuss MVP for game 1, but we'll do that after the draft ends.
I have an idea of who it might be.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We see the Wukong first pick coming in again. No surprise there. Mason played really good on that. Why would you change?
Alright. Ezreal Maokai, so it's probably for Coffee and Kathy.
Ezreal Maokai, they're playing yet another just more of a like a scaling weak side bot lane. I do think the Ezreal is pretty interesting. I'm not sure who would play the Ezreal between Coffee and
I think I've seen them both play it, so it's not really too sure where that's going yet. Dean on the Kai'Sa. That's kind of spicy. I don't know if I've really seen him play that champion, and I don't actually think Kai'Sa's that good right now. So curious to see how that goes. But it does have potential to follow up a dive the champion like Wukong is bringing up. You know, you can just shoot right back into the backline with him.
Oh, we're going to see Renata paired with it.
I do like Renata coming out for Jacob. I think he's played really well on that pick, and I also think Renata is just better than Nami right now. So I like that. But the only thing with picking Renata this early is she's really good counter engaging. Yes, you have the Maokai, but you also have Ezreal. So if you can pick more range and poke on the side of Spectres here, it could become really difficult for Renata to play, especially when you also have a low range ADC in Kai'Sa. So I want to see more high range champions on Spectre's side.
I wonder if that's it. I wonder if the Warwick picked up for Bane.
Alright, that's kind of spicy.
Now I'd really like to see Ben get on something like the Syndra or the Hui. It can be difficult into a champion like Wukong if you don't have like self peel, but if he's not going to go for Tristana again, I want to see him on that like ranged poke carry kind of champion.
Speaking of the Syndra, as that gets banned out, maybe that's the Saga. I'm just wondering if it's it. If he's gonna run him back on the Tristana.
Yeah, I will say if they're not going to give Sarver's last pick, which they very well might. Honestly, I think they should. But if they're not going to give him last pick, I'm then going to be questioning why you didn't just take Syndra or something on R3 before bans came through. So hopefully they give him last pick here and let that counter pick come through, and just let Cam take a safe blind pick into Drago, because you know what Drago's picking. He's picking one of those carries for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, Aatrox and Riven's banned out, so he's probably picking like. Oh, what was the ban for last game? Oh, what the heck? A Victor?
Spring's taking a while to load, so
I don't.
Is a little bit delayed. Oh, it's the Victor. Okay.
Yeah, I don't hate Victor. I think Victor's a good pick, but I just don't get what world we're banning 2 top laners in and then giving top lane counter pick. Like, I just don't understand that personally. I think you should be giving your strongest player the counter pick, especially if you're already banning for the other player. Like, why are we not banning Asol if we're blind picking Victor?
Yeah.
Like, what do we have to ban Riven and Aatrox if we're gonna give top lane last pick? I just don't get that. And now you have your best player in Ben counterpicked by the Asol. I just don't see that.
There's Lilia as well. Oh, that's really rough.
Oh, is it a Lilia? Is it a potential Lilia top from Drago?
No, it's probably Wukong top for Drago.
Yeah,
that's what I would assume.
Drago.
Mason is a really good Lilia player. Definitely wanted to flex that, get the counter pick onto Warwick. But at least if we do see something like the Jax come through, I don't hate giving him last pick.
Yep.
That could be a good matchup into Wukong.
Finally, we get our man on carry.
Gonna have to see this Jax get value, because we're setting Ben up to just farm into a matchup that eventually loses. So gotta see advantages come through somewhere. I think it'll probably have to be through top lane.
Yeah, definitely agree. In terms of the matchups and the top side, I'm not really too well versed in the Wukong Jax matchup. I'm gonna just I'm gonna just go with the assumption that with how strong is Jax level 1, I assume that it's gonna be good for Jax early, but once Wukong is able to get his abilities leveled up with his how many dashes he has, his invisibility, like
Yeah, I really
it's a,
don't know how that's gonna go.
it's a bit of
I,
a toss up, really.
I mean, Wukong's got those recent buffs. He has longer range now on his Q, so it could be interesting to see if he's able to kind of trade in a way that Jax can't always trade back. Just kind of have to kind of wait and see. I will say quickly, are you able to watch Honin stream right now, or is that just an error on my end?
My stream is.
It
I was.
should.
I was gonna leave that until draft was over, but my stream is like bugged out right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, Honin, I
it's
think you need to restart
So
your stream.
yeah, I'm gonna
Yippee,
yeah.
give
Let's
me a
go.
moment. All right, while we have like a moment alone, hello.
I was literally just
There we
watching
go.
off the stream from Twitch.
No,
So-
it wasn't your issue. It was his issue.
Yeah,
Okay, we're
it's
back.
definitely my issue. Are you able to see what's going on here?
No, I'm still having it not load.
Okay. I don't know what the issue is. It might be my Windows applications. The fact that I have
Well, if the stream is still hearing us, we can at least keep talking about draft right now.
Yeah.
Overall, I think pretty even draft. I do think the Rift Sharks flex pick, giving Mason that counter pick on Lilia, is going to end up being pretty huge this game. I think this is a game where Lilia could do a lot of work. I'm surprised Ben went for the Victor. I don't think Victor's terrible, but I also don't think he's that strong right now. Clearly must just feel like getting on that farming control mage is what he wants to do.
Alright.
I don't know. It'll just be boring this game. They'll just farm.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit less volatility in the top matchup with the Smolder gone and getting like an actual like bruiser
Yeah, I
top
can see
matchup
now.
against the Wukong. You still have you still of course have a bit of volatility depending how the Jax lane goes, because Jax like if he ever goes behind in matchups like in matchups like top side, you got like he is gonna be. Sorry, I'm bumbling right now.
Nah,
You're fine.
You're fine.
I get what you're trying to say.
First stream
Yeah.
with that,
I
though.
definitely agree with what you're saying there. I think a lot of pressure this game is going to fall onto Cam, but at least you have like 4 carries on the side of Spectres. The Warwick has a little more carry potential than the Amumu did, just in the sense of himself. And if Bean's able to have such a good early game like he did last game, I think it could be really difficult for Rift Shark's team comp to deal with Warwick if he gets fed, if he gets ahead like he did last game. So I expect to see Captain Coffee moving around the map roaming again. And something like the Ezreal, kind of like the Seraphine, has a pretty easy time being left alone in lane. I'd say Ezreal probably has a little bit of even easier time than Seraphine. And you don't have the poke of the Varus, so if Kathy ends up being left alone, I think that can go better than it did last game.
Yeah, if they play that kind of style again, I'm not opposed to it because of because of the impact Captain Coffee had in the early game with the rounds. I feel like if you play the way Spectres did in the early game and just tighten up the execution and comms, I feel like Spectres have a really good chance of winning this game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do as well. I don't think we'll see a performance like that from Cam game 2. I think really highly of him as a player, so I expect to see a bounce back here. And I'm excited to see Drago on the Wukong. You know, I feel like that's a champion that fits the style of champions he likes to play. But I don't know if we've seen him on Wukong, or at least I haven't seen him on Wukong. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see if he can execute the same way he has on his more traditional carry picks.
He's
Yeah.
very much not been playing like the sort of team fight champions. Last time he did, I think, was an Ornn game that didn't go particularly well for him. So, hoping to see a lot better from a more team fighty pick from Drago.
Well, it looks like they may actually potentially be locking in the Lilia top here, and if that's the case, I don't know. I don't know how.
We'll have to
that's
see
gonna
what the
be
picks
annoying
are.
in
If
the
it is
Jack.
Wait,
Lilia,
yeah, no,
if it
it's
is
pretty much
Lilia,
confirmed now.
Yeah,
if
it
it
is.
is
Okay.
wow, it is Lilia's
Lilia
top. Very
top.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
feel
really
like-
sure how to see that. I think at this point it needs to be Warwick, get the hell up top lane and gank the shit out of Lilia. Like,
I feel like
do not
yeah.
let Jax just sit there and get queued on repeat. You have the ability to gank her if you can get there when she's not fully move speeded up. Mid lane's just gonna farm. I think bot lane should favor the side of Spectres 2v2. Got to get this Jax in a good position. Got to.
Yeah. While we're finishing our talks on draft, do we want to discuss selecting an MVP for game one?
Yeah, good
Yeah,
call.
sure.
What are your thoughts, Arnie?
In terms of how Rift Sharks played in game one, I really feel like that the majority of the execution came down to the Wukong from Mason, and with how well he executed his engages and resolves, he got really good team fights off. I really feel like that Mason was the standout player in Rift Sharks.
Okay, I'll counter you and say I think it was Drago that game. I think he absolutely dominated his lane. I think he found some really good fights. I think what like that fight bot lane where they tried to pick him off and he got binned to 1 HP and then they couldn't even contest that dragon. Um, Top lane they tried to go for him a couple times and he just kept. Oh, he turned to that 2v1 early game when Maokai tried to roam up and kind of just dumpstered the smolder and made the game a 4v5.
Yeah. I think it's
Conan,
probably
thoughts?
just Drago here. The Aatrox just went. They obviously Drago on Aatrox had a really easy lane in top because Smolder did not end up working out. But even after that, he played out the fights against Tristana well. He was constantly getting ganked and finding enough of an advantage for his team to come in and clean up the rest of the fight.
Okay, we'll stay Drago.
All
then.
right, hearing
I'm saying
yeah,
Drago.
after hearing
I'm
all you
sorry,
got,
Andy.
if he, nah, it's okay. I hear you guys' points, and I definitely agree with all of them. So now that's
It's a hard game to pick. I think it could have went either
Yeah,
way. I think it went
after
a few players. Dean also had a really good game.
yeah.
But I think Drago just won some fights that he probably shouldn't have, turned some plays he probably shouldn't have, and just made that game not even close.
100%. He did pilot the Aatrox really well. So after discussing that, I definitely think that Jago will be our MVP candidate for game one.
Perfect. Any other thoughts as we kind of head into game two? We have one more minute.
I think it's for the top lane matchup. I feel like with the Lilia Jax, I feel like once Lilia is able to, in terms of I feel like in terms of the trading patterns, I feel like I feel like Jax is really gonna struggle, especially if Cam is unfamiliar with the matchup. With how Lilia's kits works, with the amount of movement speed that she has, if she's able to like get those really good early trades off against the Jax, like it's almost talking about the same kind of volatility as we were talking last time, except obviously Ken is on a much better peg than Smolder.
Yeah.
But as you said previously, this game falls into the hands of how Cam is able to do this game against the Lily and against the Wukong if he's potentially playing the strong side. He's really got a lot to prove in this unfamiliar matchup because you don't really see Lilia top that much.
I'm actually hoping for more out of Coffee here. I think that the Ezreal Kaisa matchup is a lot better for Ezreal nowadays, and with Maokai, you're able to lock down a singular target against Renata. She can't really use her ultimate as effectively if she's rooted the entire time and CC chained to death. So if we can see Kathy pick up the reins a bit more in the Ezreal, maybe there is actually a angle here for Risharks.
Yeah, I like it.
The Spectres.
I think Seraphine is a strong champion. I think she fits well into a lot of team comps. But I'd much rather see Kathy playing something that gives her a little more agency. I
Yeah.
definitely think she can go toe to toe with Dean in that ADC matchup, especially when I wouldn't really consider Kaisa one of Dean's signatures. So I'm really excited to see how this one plays out. I think bot lane could be once again a really important lane.
All right.
Runes are pretty standard, I think. I mean, I don't really see anything. Victor went for the airy as opposed to first strike, which personally I agree with. I think if you're picking Victor, he's a lane bully. You want to be using that to your strength. I don't think you need first strike. And so, yeah, I want to. Ben should have the early advantage pretty big time in mid to kind of keep Aurelion Sol stuck under that turret and hopefully generate a farm advantage. Probably never going to be a kill unless Asol really messes up.
Comes to the Runes top side, I actually don't like the fact that Cam is going to lethal tempo. I feel like in this Jax matchup, you're really going to benefit for small trades against Lilia with how fast she is able to kite. So I feel like going Lethal Temper here is it's kind of hard to benefit from it in terms of the laning phase. It will be useful later on.
What would
However,
you have preferred?
I probably would have preferred Grasp the Undying in this
Yeah,
matchup
grasp.
Yeah, I could see that.
because of Jack's being able to get much better short trades against Lilia and able to be and then obviously able to benefit from the resolve first rune tree and able to get something like biscuits for like the extra sustain against her. But I do that's my opinion. Like, at least Lethal Temple is going to still have its uses because it gives Jax a lot more carry potential. But you do want to see how impactful Jax is going to be with this draft. But we'll ultimately
Yeah.
see.
I mean,
Ultimately, depending how the laning phase goes.
we're getting into it, and I think we kind of got to say it's hard to say it's do or die this early into the season when you hadn't even finished the first round robin yet.
Hmm?
But at some point, Spectres has to start picking up some wins. And if you're looking at purely power rankings, I don't necessarily think you're even considering Rift Sharks a top 2 team. So at some point, you got to start grabbing some wins, and I think this is a good opportunity for them. You definitely don't want to finish the first round robin not having won a series. I think we've already talked about how they are a strong team. When you look at their players, it's just hadn't been able to fully put it together. And I want to see them bounce back from this game too. I know a lot of the players on this team, and I know they have what it takes to win these games. So I'm excited to see. I think they'll do better.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like it's a pretty standard. Looks like it's a standard 5 point for on the side of Spectres. Except the fact that Jax is obviously trying to take the bush prior in case Lily is going to do something cheesy. It looks like there's not going to be any sort of crazy plays in terms of invades. Looks like it's pretty. Looks like it's pretty standard in terms of what they're going to do in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I will say compared to last game, Wukong starting topside this time instead of starting bot. Gonna have to watch and see if that could potentially take Spectres off guard. They don't have that vision in the jungle to know where he is starting, so gonna be curious to see what Mason does early.
Definitely, I do think in terms of importance with the matchups, I feel like it's pretty hard to, in terms of the solo lanes, I do think like it's very hard to go for any early games, especially with how pushing the lanes are for both the Jax and the Victor. So I think it does look like that Wukong is just going for full clear, potentially going down for the bot crap contest, or either like depending on how the lane goes, so bottom mid, maybe he could look for an early gank. We'll have to see that. It does look like he is aiming for a full clear based on how he's popping.
Going straight for red right now. Bean looks like he's actually going to spaghetti clear. He's done this a few times. Possibly going for the top here, actually, or the crab.
He is moving towards top river. I'd like to see how the wave is for Drago. Because if his wave is pushed up, then this could potentially be... Oh, yeah, the wave is really, really good for the Jax. This is an angle, but... Oh, the immediate flash. Oh,
well
the flash
played.
follow from Bean.
Yeah, great fear from Bean, and the Jax able to get that first pick off in that matchup.
It's exactly what we talked about. We said you gotta go up top lane as you're the Warwick. I love seeing the double flash commit, getting the Jax the first blood. That's really, really huge.
Yeah, that's gonna be very, very good for his lane. If he's able to just get either stack damage or stack MR, that's really just gonna help his lane.
Yep, Mason is smartly going for that immediate counter jungle on the side, getting that Wolves camp. Now he's potentially behind Ben here, but I don't really think you have an angle onto Victor at this point.
Not if the ASOL's that low.
It is a very hard angle for Mason, especially with how low ASOL is. He's unable to look for anything, and it looks like he's just popping back down potentially to bot crab. Looks like he's going to bot crab.
I will say we gotta shout out, like, these farm advantages is pretty insane in every single lane right now. Not like huge, but it's kind of it'll add up. We have to see if they can kind of claw these back a little bit, because I don't think you should usually be at a lane CS disadvantage in most of these matchups, but it's not too far.
Never mind, we're gonna get an engage.
What are you looking for? Oh,
Mason's just gonna find nothing.
Around bot.
I think he's just like kind of messing around with the bot lane, seeing what he can get done.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to look for anything especially with Dean not having any mana. Could have seen the angle for a potential dive, but it looks like
Oh,
Mason.
what's Cam
looking to
doing
clear out
here?
his bot
Looks like a
side.
possible engage.
I do like seeing Warwick going for the counter, and at this point, if I'm Cam, I'd say stop fighting her and see if you can just push the wave in.
Wait, Cam's getting her super low.
This was
Warwick
fun.
has empowered.
Push the wave in. Let's dive. Yeah, there we go.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
this
look
should
how
be-
fast that dog is!
Popping the fear early, so the kill is so easy for the Jack.
Nah, she's back.
What this traded back. I still think you're okay with dying there if you're Jax, because
I mean, it's a huge wave. Yeah, it's a huge
it's a
wave.
loose wave, and the Lilia doesn't have TP, so Lilia loses
Can we
out
see
on
top
that,
lane
on that
really
trade.
quick?
Yeah, sure thing. Here. Actually, this is what you want, right?
Yeah, I was just curious to see.
Yeah, wave
so it's
crashed
a really lot of farm getting missed. Cam is in a really strong position now, and it looks
Yeah.
like they're going to leverage that into grubs. Mason is
Yeah.
correctly and smartly taking the dragon on the other side of the map. But I think when you're playing a champ like Jax, you'd be happy to get some early grubs.
3
In
grubs
terms of
already
the
obtained.
and in terms of how the lane is for Jax, the wave is pushing into the Jax as well. So you could potentially see, yeah, they're moving topside. It looks like they are trying to look for the Lilia again. And if Drago steps up too far, then this
Yeah,
could be
I'm
potentially
actually-
another kill.
We're gonna see what happens here.
Should be a kill.
They need to combo their CCs correctly. Yeah,
Looks
really
like they
good
did.
job. This Lilia's did again.
And they give it to the Jax. You just love to see that. Really good coordination on their side.
Stars descend on the
oh.
immediately? What?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what we see mid. I mean, it's just no kills. Like you're never gonna get a solo kill in this matchup unless one player really makes a mistake. But seeing damage go down, and once again, Thomas building a bit of a CS lead, which is impressive in that matchup, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Sarver's missing farm or the ASOL just getting the harassment to prevent the Victor from farming. But it's ultimately fine if you're Spectres because of how the leads that you have on the other side of the
Now
map.
they're gonna go on the
The
engage on
Jax being-
Dean here. Looks like the Kai's gonna take a huge chunk of damage.
Ooh,
Good damage. Get the heal out.
traders
Maybe you
good. They
can
look
see
like they were.
Bot at some point now.
Yep.
I'm really curious to see what bin Sarverus actually chooses to build on Victor. I haven't been playing him very much this season. I'm kind of interested to see what he thinks is kind of the optimal build.
I'm not entirely sure. If you're playing this, I would assume that the default would be the Ludens, but at the same time, I'm not really too well versed in the current mage builds. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what he builds. Jack's doing a good job at last hitting. The wave is slowly pushing back to him, so if he's able to stack that wave and keep on pushing the Lilia and keeping his advantages, like this Jack is going. He is in 1v9 mode with how strong he is right now. If he's able to keep that lead, it's gonna be really, really good for Spectres, especially in the later stages of the game where there's like Rift Herald and Grub stuff to go up.
Yeah, if they take smart fights on the side of Spectre's top side right now, I think Jax is at the point where he can just carry the fights. He's really good against the Wukong. It's going to take a while before ASOL can really be a threat to him. So if we can see those coordinated plays, I like their chances.
Really good trade
Looks
there
like
on the
Wukong-
top side.
Does have to be careful here. If Wukong shows up and he gets slept, there is an angle to just one-shot the Jax before he has counterplay.
Speaking of sleep, that's exactly what's going to happen to the Jax. He's going
Oh,
to
the ult is whiffed from the Jax though. He needs to be careful before Wukong moves up.
Warwick's here first,
He's
though.
just here to cover.
Oh, the flash, he's dead. He's dead to the passive.
Ugh.
Wukong is able to bump. Wukong is able to clean up the kill.
Well played to Drago there, finding a solo kill that far behind.
Oh, Bane. This is a potential flash.
Okay!
Bane died. Oh, the heal from the minions. That was so clutch from Bane.
Bean has been pulling
Bean
it out
just
for
said,
these
"Get
games,
off
man.
me, holy!"
Wow. That was a super clutch Q on the minions. If he didn't land that self-healing from the minions, he definitely would have been dead there. Really well played from Bane.
He saves his ultimate.
I
for just
love
the right
seeing
moment
Bean
as well.
perform.
Yeah, Bean has been a treat to watch these last few Spectres games.
Every time he came in last season for Spectres in multiple roles, he put on a huge performance. Glad to see him getting to start this season in multiple roles once again. I mean,
Yeah, he's making a running for himself as like the flex player of the server. Like, I know we're already halfway through the season, but he's making a campaign for himself in terms of the flex player of this season.
Yeah, he's
Looking
definitely the most
really good
flexible
on
one, alongside a few
definitely.
others.
Oh, good
Oh,
damage
straight.
out of a good handshake there to kind of get some damage onto Kathy.
Yeah.
Looks like they're playing. Looks like both teams are playing heavily for the top side. The Maokai able to get a roam timer off, and they're playing like exactly how they were in game one. Kathy just solo farming bot while Captain Coffee is able to roam for these objectives, roam around the map and make an impact for
Looks like
himself.
they're getting all 3 grubs as
Yeah.
well. One's already gone down for Spectres, but
Kathy
Kathy
does
Let's
need
be a
to
little
be-
careful here. Could get dove.
Yeah.
Well,
Kathy
if
does
Dean
need, like,
eats
even here.
another
Both of
tower
them have
shot like
six.
that,
Kathy does have heals, so not quite as low health as she looks.
Yeah.
I would
No,
also
looks like
I'd like to see Cam hopefully complete the Merc Treads pretty soon. I think having that
oh,
lose be
Ooh,
disadvantage.
the ulti.
don't
barely
forget the
missing.
flash out from the Aurelion Sol. He's here to look pretty and get the pull on a monkey.
It's nice getting that flash out for sure.
No trade back
Looks
as
like
well,
that-
so there's a lot of kill pressure there now for Ben.
Yeah, the
I
drag.
don't know if you can do this dragon if you're the side
No.
of Rift Sharks. I want to see Spectres contest this. You have Cam here. Definitely contest this.
Yeah, contest this, come on. There's only 200
There's,
drinking, you
there's
know
only
this
2
now.
players
You're-
down here. Yeah, they are. It looks like they are
Concords coming
contesting.
down.
The Lily are also TPing from behind. But the Renata
Dean's not here.
caught out
Dean's in
without
base.
The W. The W goes on the Wukong. But the Wukong engage is massive. Lilia going in with his ultimate.
Big
But
sleep.
he only sleeps 2. The sleep didn't manage to find a lot. He only managed to sleep 2 there in that team fight.
And
Yeah,
notably-
really good awareness by Cam to already be down there, and you kind of question why Mason thought they had the ability to start that, especially when you know that Sarverse has teleport to come back, and with Dean walking out of base, it's a really uncoordinated dragon take.
Yeah. Oh,
This could potentially be a
here's some
solo kill.
potential kill pressure as well. Ben's going to
Ooh,
actually flash
good-
that.
Oh, the flash!
Oh, and
Great
that's
block from
another
Cerberus.
kill
Nice
going
solo
over. This
kill.
is huge for Spectres right now.
Yeah, Spectres is firmly in the driver's seat of this game. Definitely still close, but 3K gold lead is really huge when you have the scaling of champions like Jax, like Victor.
They have 6 grubs and a dragon. It can't get much better than that. Oh wait, it can with all these kills. Jax
really
also has
well
already
done.
finished the Triforce, so that's a lot of damage.
Yes, the Triforce.
Pretty short
It is
trade.
gonna be
Oh,
a
this could
Kim
potentially be
Decker.
an alt angle for the Kaiser. Oh, the flash is perfect from Kathy. But is Dean able to get the kill? Oh, it's the E! Oh, he still manages to get the kill now.
Big
Super
heal.
close from Kathy.
Heal not invested for Kathy, but you'll happily take
Oh.
that if you're Dean right now. Your
Yeah, well
team
played by
needs
Dean there to
something.
kind of get some gold back. Yeah, really well
it was
played.
really,
yeah.
really close. I don't think it's really unfortunate that Kathy got hit by that Kaiser E.
Nah, never mind.
Again.
He's just trying to make up for his bad item choice. What is he doing with Static Shiv?
I'm a
That is-
believer.
I am not a believer.
Static Ship is interesting on the Kaiser. I'm not sure. I do know that Static Ship did get buffed recently.
I am not a
So
believer
let's-
of the Shiv.
so
I
let's-
must profess.
We'll see how well the Static Ship is able to do in the later stages of the game.
Victor with no flash here is a little bit dangerous,
Oh,
but
but
they're
it's
getting
a TP
TP'd on.
Oh, the ult is good though.
Gravity
This
Well
Aurelion is
catches up
really
with
cool out.
Renata. There's no angle for them anymore.
Oh, here goes Mason.
The Jax is able to get the kill on the Renata, but Wukong able to get the trade back kill. But it looks like the Wukong is going to trade his life for the kill. As
Yeah,
he's
Wukong's gonna go
absolutely
down here.
caught out. Oh, this Jax is
this
so
is-
powerful right now. 6 kills on the Jax.
Cam's doing
Yeah,
his
it's a
best
little bit
Arnie
questionable
impression.
there for Thomas to go that far in.
The Q over the E. This Lilia is good as dead. Oh, but the flash comes out from the Lilia.
Well, the
This
Lily is
Lilia
still
just
good as
simply
dead
dead.
though.
Lilia
Bean's gonna
dead.
steal that one.
Just completely caught out.
Good stride breaker.
Not even using the ult to get himself out of that situation. Bit of an unfortunate death for Drago.
Yeah.
This is a much better look for Spectres than last game. You have your Jax really fed. You have Bean really fed too, and all of your other lanes are going like even despite the death on Cappy's end, the game is going really well for Spectres.
Yeah,
Alright.
Bean's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah,
I
Bean's
mean,
really-
he's
yeah,
having a
Bean-
really huge performance. 10 KP.
Alright, Bean. Alright, Spectres. You had 2 parts of the game plan. Get ahead early, don't lose your lead.
Yeah, I will say, I've seen Bean be fed on Warwick before and it not always convert.
Yep.
Not necessarily saying that's his fault, but want to see them close this game out cleanly. Because, I mean, you're at a position to where if you play cleanly, I think the fights will go really well.
Wukong is really fishing for something here with the Aurelian Sol.
Aesol has the big ult.
Aesol has the big ult, but the fear is really, really good. And the Rift Shots unable to get the damage. Ooh, the Unstoppable able to cancel the sleep.
No, he's
not gonna matter though.
Ooh, the healing? Ah, he's still dead.
I
And the
mean,
shutdown going to Aesol.
No.
Did we caster curse him there? I just
A little bit.
that's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Scrim Zone is not known for its caster cursing, but this looks
It
like
was
the
really, it was really risky doing that Rift here while Victor was still mid. Aesol had first moved there during that 3-3 and the
Yeah, I think you gotta communicate there that Aesol's sitting on that empowered ultimate. He's really not that strong right now, but if he has the empowered ultimate up, you can win any team fight.
Yeah, they just need to calm down a little bit, play over the advantages. I mean, you have your Jackson so ahead, so it's sad to see that they're bleeding this much. They're bleeding this much gold. The advantages that they have, but at the same time, they still have their lead on the Jacks. They still have their lead on the Warwick.
Still have that 1k gold advantage. Gonna have to see what they can do with that. I will say I'm kind of curious about Kathy's build. I think going for the full completed Miramana, usually you see Ezreal's get that tier and then build whatever first item they want.
Usually the Triforce, it is pretty interesting.
Or Essence Reaver even.
Yeah, even I don't really see the Manamune much.
I think you're just really weak on this build until she hits 2 items at this point. Even the Miramana completion as a single item, I don't think is actually that strong.
Yeah.
Sleep is going to Oh, never mind.
Nope, sleep actually isn't up right now. That would have been huge, but
yeah, I would have been fearful.
Bean's going in.
Oh, Warwick's got the play, but
not the right
ult. The Berserk, the Renata ult is so massive for the side of Rift Sharks. The Jax able to get his ult off, he just gets bursted down. The Ezreal is still really good. Oh, but the Renata W able to get the resurrection on the Kai'Sa, and Spectres just fall just like that.
it's so close.
Oh, but at least we'll be able to pick one up.
Oh, he could actually do something here. If Kai'Sa walks into him?
Yeah, we'll pick two.
Oh!
Okay,
That's a big shutdown. That's a big shutdown, but man, what are we talking about? We keep saying they're uncoordinated, and then you have Bean and Jax going on the group, while you have Victor and the rest of the team pushing off the Lilia. Imagine if that engage is with Victor in range to immediately R, immediately W on top of the Warwick ulted target. I mean, it's just, once again, we're not seeing the coordination in these team fights.
At the very least, being able to kill the Strigan.
Yeah, I do think at the very least, Rift Sharks are too low to continue to drag. Yeah. It is so really unfortunate. Their coordination was just like a little bit better. If they focused the targets that the Jacks went on, it would have been a much cleaner fight. It would have been a much cleaner fight in general. But at the very least, they were able to like at least get the dragon.
Yeah, it was a good job by Ben. I mean, by the time he got over there, the fight was actually kind of lost already. So really good job kiting out, getting like 2 more kills as he went down. Looks like he is actually going for that Ludens into a Lichbane build, which I kind of like that. I haven't seen that, but the burst that he's going to have is going to be really high.
Yeah, hell no, it shows with the Victor build here. The builds across the board, I think, are just pretty standard, and the best that you can do on each individual turn. Not too sure about the Ezreal. Oh, never mind my comments. It looks like there's a 1v1 going on the top side. This could potentially be a kill for Lilia.
Lilia is actually super caught here. Bean's gonna be like
Jax barely able to survive. I wonder if Warwick's able to clean up.
We really need to see Jax just not get
no.
I mean, why are we're just giving him that for free right there.
Yeah, Jax did not need to go in for that. Like you already got the hits on him for the assist. I don't know why you needed to go in and just feed him a kill for free.
Oh, big play by the Aesol. Yeah. Catches him in the ultimate with no flash. That's a kill every single time. Well played by Thomas there. Used the TP to come. He got chunked out by Ben, but then he used the TP to come back. Still had his ultimate. Finds him. Good punish.
Yeah, the micro looking really, really good on the side of Rift Sharks with the Aesol able to get that 1v1 off, but like.
Yeah, and I think also Dean, I feel like it's kind of quietly, but he's quietly gotten to a 4-1-2 stat line. 2 items, going for that Nashor's third, it looks like. I mean, he's at 2 items right now, and Ezreal doesn't even have a completed Miramana.
What's the button
Dean's
to show
putting up a performance.
difference in gold?
X.
X? Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, no, look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, absolutely massive lead in bot lane, like 2.6k. Good advantage for the Warwick. Decent advantage for the solo lanes on the side of Spectres, but Dean has just had a really nice game so far.
Dean's 2k out of his lane opponent here. And it also looks like the Renata, expectedly, but ahead of the Maokai as well.
Yeah, the Renata is proving its use case much more than I think it might be in the last game. Like, Renata, I think, is just... Ooh.
Ben's going to find a solo ultimate onto the Lilia. It's actually really fast.
I think he might get this here. Oh,
yep.
For sure gets it now.
Gets it now.
Okay. Nice little solo play.
I like that adaptation of matching him against the Lilia there. I think with that 2-item spike, he actually can kite out Lilia a lot better than Jax can, and finds a solo kill there. That's really good. Really good for them.
Yeah, especially with the Lilia having like every advantage counts, but especially with the Lilia having steel caps. If you put a steel caps Lilia, it just eats the Jax. It's gonna be so much harder for the Jax to just get his damage off and beat the Lilia down in the side lane. So I like this. I do like the adaptation as well. That Sagras is matching the Lilia.
Okay, Asol has the empowered. Or sorry, go ahead.
Jax already has the merc shard, so he doesn't lose any value for matching into the Asol either.
Yeah, and Asol has the empowered ultimate right now. I really want to see Spectres respect that. Like, he's going to use it in a team fight, but try to make sure it's not like the last one where it's just like a team fight winning ult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you have to do to force that out. Maybe
sometimes you can potentially bait it a little bit if he can feel pressured. If he gets caught out by like a good Maokai ultimate or something, he can feel pressured. Then you kind of wait it out. But
I think honestly, the Maokai has to dangle himself a little bit and make himself look like a juicy target.
Yeah,
oh, we're seeing round 2 right here. I mean, Lilia, do you win this time?
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
The damage from Victor is just so strong.
Check PayPal. Never mind. But well played again by Ben. I mean, you're seeing the strength of this lane assignment switch up. Drago not respecting the fact that it's a different world when you're into the Victor instead of the Jax.
Oh.
Maokai potentially caught here, though.
Oh, the Bramble Smash comes out. The ultimate is going to find Renata. Lonely Renata. Dean caught in the backside.
Ripshots just cut it out. Ripshots just cut it out. They do need to be. Ripshots. Spectres do need to be careful, but.
Yeah, I think you look for this dragon here potentially. You have no ultimate on the side of Lilia, even though she does have teleport to arrive. But once again, it's kind of going to come down to, can Thomas get threatened here? He has Flash. He has the empowered ultimate. Dean is really strong right here with all summoners. This is going to be a hard fight for Spectres to win.
I feel like if you're in the side of Spectres, you just can't really clump up against their Ripshots team comp. If you clump up against Renata,
there it is.
They're able to kite it out, but they are still clumped up, and the Renata ult is massive because of it. Oh, the CC chain is really good, but Warwick is able to get the ult off. But yeah,
the Lily on the backside does die. It looks like there's a chance for kiting out here, but it's overdone.
Yeah,
Down's too good to do Aurelian Soul.
Clumping up like that against Renata is just so detrimental. Renata is able to get Renata is able to get Renata is able to get the 2-man ult, comboing it into the Broodcon ult. It's just a really good execution on the side of Ripshots, able to combo their CC chains together.
Yeah, well played to the side of Ripshots in that team fight.
If you are Spectres, you should be avoiding these team fights. I don't know how you win the next one.
I feel like it was.
Yeah, I'd say maybe there. It kind of was, but at some point, I think maybe there you just say, we already have 2 dragons, we can give them 1. You gotta get Ezreal to 2 items. Like, Ezreal is not a champion right now. Maybe you say, hey, maybe we actually give that, try to get Ezreal to Triforce, and maybe the fights can look a little different. But I don't know. It's just difficult.
It did seem like a very difficult fight once the Asol ult got out. Maybe you could have said to yourself, hey, we got the empowered Asol ult, maybe we just sack this drag and just get the Ezreal up. But they made the decision to try and fight that even how. But it still didn't even work out for them.
Yeah, I'd like to see Spectres try to play more for side laning right now. You've seen that the Victor's doing well into the Lilia in the side lane. See if Jax can keep farming. I think it's going to be difficult to win team fights, but you are going to have that side lane advantage for much of the game, so maybe just kind of try to play for that as your kind of window.
They're setting up for a T1.
They do need to. They do need to be careful. Jax does need to be careful if he's on the side lane. If Ripshock had been tracking the teleporter timers, they could potentially do a Baron force here with Jax being on the side.
Yeah,
I
think it's difficult to start the Baron against the team comp of Victor and the team comp of Ezreal, so Jax is kind of just gonna get a free turret right here. Yeah.
As long as no one on Spectres dies, this is actually going to look better for them than it is for Ripshock.
I think they do have to answer this.
I like that. Really good by Bean. From Ben, just kind of poke out Kaisa. Now you definitely don't have a Baron angle.
You need to answer this Jax now. Yeah. This is really indecisive from Ripshock. They're playing whether to do the Baron or just go match a Jax. But the Jax is already getting the value that
we just gotta stay alive here for Spectres. We just gotta stay alive.
No! The drowsy on 3! And Bean's going to be caught up on the side. Aronzo's going to pick up the Maokai as an afterthought. Then Bean's going to pick up as much as he can.
And we got Cam taking base and we're getting caught out. I just don't get it there.
Yeah, they're just. It just seemed like a communication error with that. Like Swara is just splitting up for his team and just getting pummeled by the Wukong. They're just not playing together. At all.
Cam's gonna be able to get a pick on the Dean at least.
Kaisa does have Flash and R.
I think the Jax does have no mana. It's just difficult for Jax, but he is able to get the kill.
Okay, that's good by Cam to get something back there.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you got like a 5k gold advantage now. You're happy with Baron.
Yeah, it's going to make the side lane for Jax much more difficult. It's very unfortunate that Cam is able to get so much done on his own, but his team is just collapsing on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, we said it. So we got to play for the side lanes. That's what Cam did. The rest of the team just didn't do their part. You poked out Dean. At that point, there's no Baron if nobody else dies. And just stick around in the jungle a little too long, get caught out. Now Ripshock is pretty in control, and you're not really able to play for the side lane in the same way as long as that Baron buffs up.
We're going to see 2 items on Ezreal at least after that fight, so hopefully there's
it may just be too little too late because Dean already is 3.5 items. He's just so strong right now.
What's that Hextech alternator gonna turn into? I'm so curious.
Even despite the Baron, it looks like Cam is able to get those decent trades off it. Drago potentially looking for a potential solo here.
We win this? If Cam wins that, that's pretty huge, but...
Bean's a bigger price for Ripshock, and looks like they're going to invest gold on him.
The Empowered.
Stars the sun comes down, and the Aronzo
and Lilia got him top.
Lilia got him top. I'll actually rewind it a little bit just to see what happened there. Because that was actually an interesting 1v1. So I am interested.
You can press that back button. There you go. Okay. Let's see what happened.
Let's see.
He comes out with Jax. It's a good stun. I feel like Jax could potentially win this. Let's see what happens on the other side.
Jumps on him.
The Q.
The drowsy.
Power
W. Very close, actually, but...
Very close. And they weren't able to get on the other side of the map. Just more miscoordination on the side of Spectres. Yeah. Spectres. You have so many people wanting to do completely separate things. You see Bean going in. You see Captain Coffee flashing in despite Borg already being dead.
If you're...
Yeah, it's tough at this point. Yeah. I am curious to see what Dean builds for the fun here. Honestly, it might be Shadow Flame, crit on your abilities. That could be interesting.
It's only crit on magic and true damage, notably. It's not on all abilities.
Maybe he's going for...
I believe that would have his W critting when he hits a low health target.
Yep.
Which could be pretty strong.
It also applies retroactively. It works on Ezreal QW. If the Q would put someone below the 35% health threshold, the W will crit.
Yeah. I mean, it's not soul quite yet. Want the Baron buff's falling off, so maybe you can try to go back to that side lane strategy. It's just difficult.
Now
it's very... If your side laners are unable to match like the Lilia and the Yasuo, it's just the game is falling out of their hands very, very quickly.
Yeah, Thomas has generated a massive gold lead at this point of the game.
Yeah,
kind of just huge on the ASOL, playing a really clean ASOL game.
Drago able to come back. Drago Drago being able to come back from the gold deficit that he had in the early game, like, and just being as fit as now being as fit, if not more than the Jacks. This is very unfortunate that that Spectres are able to get the advantages they got, but unable to turn them into anything.
Yeah, I mean, what do we
meaningful.
see? Like a 5K gold lead for Spectres at one point?
Yeah.
Oh, 5K gold lead, and that's all out the
Now,
window. Alright, Mason with the cheeky M7, I see you there. Meister. Oh, they're gonna see the Maokai caught out here.
Whoa.
Rebel Flash is good to cancel the Wukong engage.
Handshake
but
is good.
This is a choke, you're
I
fighting
mean,
a choke in a Renata
they're
ultimate.
all clumping up again for the Renata ult. It's really, really hard to fight like that.
Oh,
Vincent comes out. It's a good flash Q from the Lilia. They're able to get the 3-man sleep. They follow up from the Ace on the Wukong.
they've expended
really,
a
really
lot of their
strong.
buttons to kill just the Maokai. They've expended a lot of their buttons, and they've only killed the Maokai now, which is the only good news that you have, because
Oh, and the Lilia is like stuck in the back. In the back line.
the
Oh.
whiff being with an
Lilia
uncharacteristic
is really scary here. Lilia could potentially kill all of them without
Lilia
low
moment.
shots. Yeah, there's just Lily's running them down to it.
Lilia
She doesn't even
moment.
care.
Well, Lilia is dead.
Lilia did overextend it, but at that point, does it really
Hey,
matter
it
when you're
doesn't matter.
finishing the
Wait,
Nexus?
Cam going in, gets the 3-man
Yeah.
counter-strike off, kills the Wukong, they
This
get a
is
kill
a-
onto
Okay, shut down.
Kaisa as well. Looks like Renata's all but crying for the horses.
Yeah, that's a kill.
That's another
I mean,
kill.
okay.
you have to.
Don't you know, bud?
That is a-
You have to kill the Nexus in order to win the game, bud.
Those are big kills, but is the damage already done? You nearly,
Yeah, I mean-
you're from on the side of Ripshots, you were able to get two
Inhibitors?
two inhibitors,
Yep.
and like essentially two Nexus towers. Like the first one's already nearly dead. So even though you got those kills on the side of Spectres, it's still a really, really hard game to win from.
We'll see if Spectres
Yeah, I
can
mean,
channel
you
the
get
power
some
of
kills
double.
back, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if Ben's able to get to that Rabadon's power spike, it helps a little bit. But at this point, I don't really see an angle. Warwick has fallen off completely.
Nah, he's falling off, but he's going into the place he wants to be. 666, so 160 CS. What a devilish KDA.
I think it's just a little disappointing. I think Bean played a really good game 1 and a really good game 2 early game, and just not able to convert it.
Unable to
Yeah,
find.
the team fights that happened, especially at the first Rift Herald and the second Dragon, I think were the most important parts about this game. Like
Yeah, that
Bean
first
and-
Rift Herald fight was just huge for them to claw those shutdowns back.
Yeah.
I mean, really, from that point on, Rift Sharks never really let go. Like, yeah, you still had some fight out of Spectres. They got some kills, but that was the point at which they were no longer in total control.
Yeah, and this is
Okay,
taking
here we
advantage
go,
of how much
Barrett.
Here we go,
Yeah,
Baron
this is-
attempt. Ben's teleporting
This
in.
is do or die for Spectres, but they're able
gonna
to
win this.
Ace doesn't have the empowered ult.
Oh,
Oh,
They're
but
a-
we're not
they're actually
ult on
able-
3. What is the
they're able
damage
to
on
cut out-
Kathy?
they're able to kite the abilities while the trades
Wait,
are like
top lane.
the Lilia is getting so much time on the side laning that on the side Lilia could potentially end
Yeah,
the
I'm
game
just
here
gonna-
and not being able to back.
We're
I
gonna
don't
watch
even
the
think
Lilia.
this TP is this TP able to? Oh, I felt like the Lilia could have potentially broken the
Cam's
tower
here, but I think it might be over.
And it might not even matter. Lilia is beating down on the Nexus. This Jax is nearly dead.
Oh, well, Bean is here. He gets the ult and actually
Dean's
lands it.
coming in like he wants to do something. Are we 1v4 in this, Dean? Let's see it.
Alright, no, they're
No,
picking up
he's
Baron.
gonna back off.
Yeah,
That would have been
Baron-
hyped though.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh,
this
he
is-
actually went for Horizon Focus. That's kind of curious.
I like the Horizon focus. He's going for a W poke build. He doesn't
Yeah, I like
really
that.
need to. His engage is already really strong with Gwynsus and Nashor's Tooth, so. What's
Red
next?
Shark's making the
Yeah.
decision to just pick up Soul before they end the game. I mean, this is just a cherry on top.
Yeah,
They have
good job
Soul,
by
they
Rift
have-
Sharks using Drago push
Yeah.
there to get a free Baron.
And this has Soul. They have Baron. It's not, if you're on the side of the Red Sharks, you're pretty much guaranteed to win with how far ahead everyone is.
Oh, the Aurelian Soul
I
almost
say-
gets bursted down, but that's a
I
good
mean,
zone.
Spectres is trying to make something done on the Aurelian Soul, but it's too little, too late.
Yeah. It's just the end of
Rest
the
of-
game. Bean's gonna fall down
That's
here.
the-
Cam gets a
and
good
that's the-
counter strike on 3, but
That's how the cookie crumbles. Jax is tanky, but he's just.
he can't even
I-
break the Renata shields and all that. Oh, he does
Yeah.
actually kill
Whoa.
the
Oh
Kaisa.
wow! Wait, Jax
Oh.
the minions.
Yeah, he was just trying to
Yeah,
increase the
yeah,
CS score.
Yeah.
Well played to
That's
Rift Sharks. They rather clean 2-0. Game 2 started a little rough, but they got control back pretty quickly at that Rift Herald fight and never let it go. If as far as Game 2 MVP goes, I'm going to
it
shout
boom
out
boom
Thomas.
damage.
I thought he played super good on the ASOL.
Yeah.
His ultimate was what swung the game back when they were at that
I
5k
did,
deficit.
I definitely agree with the Thomas pick for MVP. I felt like his team fights. I felt like the way. I felt like his team fights, especially with the Aesol odds. Like I mean, he was the reason why he was the reason why that Rift Herald fight at the start went so good for Rift Sharks, and including the fact that the second Dragon fight just like he was able to get so much impact on his ults.
Yeah, I mean, only 2 deaths that whole game. When you have the threat of champion like a Warwick and a Jax kind of diving on you, as well as a Malachi, really well played to him. But
Yeah.
well played to the whole team. Like we said, Dean kind of had a quiet game, but like a really consistent game. Had good damage, put out a lot of work, and good job by Drago for kind of got camped, fell behind, but found solo kills and was a complete nuisance on those turrets in the late game.
Yeah.
Just Thomas was just too big though, honestly.
It is very disheartening to see that Spectres is unable to get a single win off the first roll button. But
I mean,
I think they might have one more
they have
series.
one more
but-
series.
one more?
Everyone
but,
else is
yeah,
moving
currently
on, but-
sitting at 0-4. Definitely a little bit tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think they still have the ability to win series, win games, and I think they've had good moments even in every series they've lost. So you just kind of got to figure out what can work for you, and hopefully be able to pull it through.
So who do you want to interview?
Do you want to grab
I don't care. Up to you guys.
Well, I think we'll start with
Well-
the only person that can represent Rift Sharks. You know, the face of Rift Sharks, if you will. I subverted
everyone else
everyone's
is screaming
expectations.
copyright.
You're stuck with me, by the way. Unless
Stream
Jacob ever
copyright?
votes.
No.
Nah, it's
Well,
fine.
well played. Good 2-0.
Hmm.
Thoughts? Just initial reactions on that series?
I want to like. Does someone? We need to check Cam's computer. I think he had some PayPal transactions that went through. For locking in the smolder top. I respect it. Honestly, the ego is chef's kiss, but there might need to be a integrity review submitted on that one. Just saying, but
Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
it's
fun
a little
series.
Thoughts on Bean Warwick in game 2? I thought he started
Oh,
off
Beans
really, really
Warwick was
strong.
clean. I underestimated his damage a lot and got my ass clapped, but I think Wukong was just better in team fights.
Yeah,
That's sort of
eventually
Yeah,
the
what are
whole
your
point.
thoughts on Wukong as a whole? We've seen you play it to success, and we've also seen Julian play it to a lot of success this season. I'm kind of
Yeah.
thinking it's a little bit of a sleeper pick right now.
Yeah, I've been fighting for the monkey to be picked a lot more in scrims recently. Especially after the buffs he got. It's actually a really neat flex if your top laner can play it. So I
Arnie,
definitely
get
think
on
it
it.
should be on everyone's radar.
Oh, well, hey.
But-
On stream.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. But Wukong, I think, is a very solid jungler. Sort of has like all the tools that you really need from like an AD jungler, like a lot of setup with the double ultis and just like a lot of ability to duel most junglers that are AD because of the passive armor on his or the armor he gets from his passive. There we go.
Yeah.
Phrased it right for once. But
Sure.
yeah, super good champion. I was the one who put Julian on it, not the other way around. Don't let him
Oh.
fool you on that one. But
All right.
yeah, but yeah, very fun series.
Sounds
GG
good.
to Spectres.
Yeah.
I
did-
do
you
also
guys got
think
any
that
questions?
they're. I think the swap between Coffee and Kathy, putting Coffee on support and abusing Maokai, I think that was a really solid pick or adaptation for them. I think if they refined it a little bit, it definitely could work out for them. So
Yeah, I think our read was mostly just they didn't really have the coordination. There were quite a few team fights where targets were focusing different people, and just
yeah,
I think game 1 especially had, even with the smolder being behind, had they been able to find a coordinated engage where all those ultimates were coming down at the same time, I think it could have looked closer.
Definitely liked the look that they showed there. It was a pretty solid. I think it's a solid meta read. Like Maokai Sport is really strong right now, and if you pair Kathy on like Kathy's champ pool in general has like a lot of weak side ability. Like she plays the Ezreal, she plays the Xayah as well. I don't know if they put any thought to picking Xayah, but yeah, I definitely think it was a good adaptation. Try to roam around and get other members of Spectres ahead. Like Sarv is known for being able to carry, and most of their top laners can carry. So yeah, very fun.
Anybody else
Good
have any
series so far.
questions?
I really liked your drafting in these games, Mason. But who was really running the draft? Was it you or was it like Dean? Because I saw like a lot.
It was Dean. I'll give all credit to Dean. I literally told him just pick me Wukong and I will play the video game. I will click R in team fights, and that's all I am. So
Damn, I really like your drafting. I was really hoping you were running drafts.
I mean, he asked for all of our inputs. Our drafts are a pretty solidly team effort, I think. Dean knows a lot about draft, but I think I have a bit more knowledge on like jungle matchups. I think Dean just sort of coordinates us. He's like the conductor, and we're all the musicians. So,
Alright. Well, I think we. Arnie, you got any questions?
No, I think the majority of the questions I wanted to ask were already asked by everyone else.
Oh, okay.
yeah, happens.
Unfortunate. Any closing statements?
No.
Rift Shark's best team. Meta Busters suck. MVP frauds. Andromeda is better than I thought because I suck balls. Anyways.
Wait, hold on! No! You don't get to just leave now. Those are
GG's. Have a good night. That's all she wrote.
He will clarify everything in the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Wait, when are we getting a podcast episode? That's a real question.
That is a
The
great
people
question.
want a podcast. The people want a podcast.
Okay, let Dean get back from vacation and we'll talk about it. But
Yeah. Throw him a welcome party. Like, put him in a chair as soon as he gets back.
Sure. All right. Well, I'm gonna dip, guys. It was a fun series.
Yeah. It's great to watch.
All right.
Jeez.
Alright. I think he's left. Has he left?
Yeah.
Right, that slanderous guy on the podcast. Guess he's gonna have to, you know.
Well, I'll just say thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for both the teams for giving us a great performance. Thank you, Honan, for streaming. It's great to have streams coming back.
My
And I'm
computer
excited
is
to see the rest of the season.
my computer's dying. It's so loud. I'm gonna have to give it a break after this or something. I need to figure out what's going on.
Well, good job, everybody, and I'll catch y'all next time.
Arnie, you got anything else to say?
Have a good night. Have a good night.
No, nothing about your only